Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, Groovy. You're killing me. There we
There we
are.
go.
Alright, you guys know how we fucking do this. Roll call.
Hiya.
Right.
Mikey.
Kyle.
And Steven! There we go. That's what we're looking for. That's the flavor. Welcome back, everybody, to Elemental Evils, the Mulmmaster campaign, the Odd Jobs episode. I believe, if I remember correctly, this is episode 19. We're almost at the 20 mark. And part 3 of Foulness beneath Mulmmaster. When we last left our favorite adventuring party of Mulmmaster, they had come into contact with a strange creature, another one of the monsters that had initiated this adventure, one that seemed to almost like a half-filled bladder kind of puts through the air with barbed tentacles, a sideways slit of a mouth, and eye stalks with large eyes on top. This creature that we discovered is a flump, a denizen of the Underdark, and one of the few good-aligned creatures to naturally be found. Introduced herself as Law, the mate of the slain flump that had been discovered by the children of Mulmmaster, who was called Zol. Zol and Lal, a bonded pair of flumps, had been following a group of troglodytes that had been drawn into the sewers of Mulmmaster from the Underdark of the Earthspur Mountains, a trip to the southeast outside of Mulmmaster by a day or two to reach such a mountain range. There, they had followed them deep into the sewers beneath Mulmmaster before discovering what appeared to be a band of humanoids led by somebody referred to as a master of some sorts. During this time period, Zol, the male flump, creeped in closer to discover what had been going on between these humanoids and the troglodytes, and unfortunately received 2 crossbow bolts straight to the body, killing Zol and washing his body down the sewers, thus explaining how our adventure came to be. Law pleaded with the party and, through some rolls, convinced them to continue on to discover what these troglodytes had been heading towards and to further examine this underground tomb of some sort of Kuatoa water mystic that allegedly there's treasure to be had and tales to be heard deep within the sewers of Mulmmaster. In fact, some parts of it being even older than the human-made structures beneath Mulmmaster. There, the party was led by Law all the way up into what appeared to be a excavated tunnel leading deeper into the sewers, but luckily away from the shitwater, which the party was still very much covered in. Law, not being a fighter herself, backed away and promised to lead the party back out of the sewers once they had successfully investigated what had been going on through the tunnel where her mate had fallen. There, the party went into this kind of raised tunnel where a small fight ensued as the party was pierced with javelins and, with a very well placed strike, struck down one of these javelin chuckers. A band of humans then appeared from the tunnel, the leader introducing himself as Zanzan Thavish, a arcanist who was the lead of these individuals. He invited them to parley, to stop the fighting, to come to an arrangement deep within the sewers of Mulmmaster. The party talked it over with Zanzan before coming to an arrangement. The humans underneath Mulmmaster were stuck in a stalemate between these troglodytes that had been barring their way into the deeper parts of this strange underground ruins that they had found. Um, while exact gold price is not determined. A sharing of the treasure that is to be found deep within the tomb was struck between party and Zanzan's own party. However, the party noticed that there seemed to be strong tensions between Zanzan and the rest of these sailor esque looking individuals who openly mocked and bristled underneath the guidance of Zanzan, learning that he was not the original leader of this party. However, tensions aside, an arrangement was struck as the party ventured deeper into these ruins, seeing these vast reliefs of ever increasing, almost artesian looking reliefs, showing what appeared to be this Kuatoa individual going deep into the sewers of Mulmmaster, summoning great waves and other water-themed powers before creating what looked to be an archway leading into some tomb of some sorts. There, the party, along with their newfound party members, took each of these antechambers filled with troglodytes one by one in a grueling, kind of straightforward fight. One of the individuals was badly injured. One of these sailor individuals badly injured immediately in the first room and had to retreat. With the second room going far better for party than the troglodytes. However, as each room continued further and further on, the tensions between Zanzan and his party grew ever more tense until in the final two rooms, his own companions left Zanzan, for lack of a better word, to the grips of a troglodyte hiding on a large effigy dedicated to Lagozed, one of the troglodytes' demigods, before finally entering a final room where the troglodytes had placed gems upon their bodies and using their chameleon like skin were lying in wait. One of the individuals from Zanzan party fell prey to these troglodytes, while the other two, with assistance from the party, were able to fend off the troglodytes, seeing a good almost 20 of these rough, unkept gems littering this final room. Appearing on further down, Jasper saw a what appeared to be a pool radiating a soft blue light. Jasper then turned to the two remaining of Zanzan's party, not including himself, and demanded to know what their cult was doing. After a slight snicker from these individuals, a large whistle was, as the individual stuck two fingers into his mouth and did like one of those really high pitched whistles, it echoes down the tunnel as Jasper begins the charge. So, we are not going to re-roll initiative. We're going to keep the initiative that we have been using all through this kind of tunnel section. Gonna get that moved. So for party, in case you have forgotten what your initiative rolls were, it is Jove with 21, Freddy with 15, Jasper with 9, and Rory with 5. So at the start of this fight, to set the scene, you've got Jasper, who is a little ways down the tunnel, closer to the next much larger open room with this light blue pool. Between her and the party are two of these individuals that have been fighting through. One armed with a torch, another with this kind of wooden barnacle laid sword of some sorts. Then, in the main room, still surrounded by the number of gems that are still placed on the ground, we have Zanzan, Rory, who I believe got the killing blow on one of the troglodytes in our last fight, Freddy, and Jove, with Aquila, of course, at Jove's side, with about 10 feet or so back leading to the tunnels and the many antechambers heading behind. So, Jove, at the start of this initiative, what would you like to do?
My question is, would I would have heard Jasper, since we're in kind of a smaller space, did I hear Jasper's little conversation asking what the cult would be doing? I just want to make sure that I'm
What's your
fully
passive
informed.
perception?
My passive is 12, unless the shield does anything
She
to
said
rotate.
it loud enough that like she wanted everyone to be aware of what she was doing, so she unless they're crazy far away, they should have been able to hear her.
Yes, you do hear this, Jove.
Beautiful. So Jove will if he's in range of one of the people, um, which is 30 feet for my javelin, he's going to yell out, "You seen what I can do with them troglodytes? I'll do the same to you if you move an inch." And then I'll ready it in action. And if the one with the barnacle sword you said, if they move from their 5 foot space, I'm gonna throw a javelin at them.
Okie dokie, gotcha.
And then I'm gonna have Aquila behind me once again. She's gonna take the dodge action. So Jove is just kind of yell that out, say stop, and then if they move, he'll let loose.
From behind, easily audible to everyone, there's the sound of rushing water, of fast moving rushing water, arcing faster and faster towards your guys' position. However, during that time period, it is afterwards is Zanzan's turn, and he looks to this party with Jove with your javelin, Jasper with your battle axe drawn, and oh man, this is a lot. All right, man, and he walks over and reaches down towards Aquila and scoops up just a little bit of kind of the sticky orange. Hey, I'm gonna borrow this for a second, man. And takes out his spell book and throws it like a frisbee, going right over the heads of the torch wielder, the whistle guy, and Jasper before there's a small kind of Zanzan uses Misty Step to get behind Jasper, and then holds, placing Jasper in front of himself, the two individuals, and just holds, waiting to see how this is going to go down. Then, one of the individuals is going to take the guy who whistles, looks to you, Jove, and with this awful kind of grisly, almost kind of browning smile, just puts his hands, doesn't make a move, but you can see the tension in his knees, and he's going to hold there for just a second. He does not move. Then it is Freddy's turn.
I'm just gonna hold a vicious mockery until something attacks one of my party members.
Absolutely. Then it is the other individual with the torch. Drops the torch. Readies himself, the same awful kind of smile as they're watching both of this and prepare for Jasper's onslaught. So he does not move either. Keeping that same 2x2. So there's kind of them side by side. Jasper on one side, part of the other side, and then behind Jasper, Zanzan. Before then going down to Jasper.
Yeah, Jasper is really pissed off. Can she hear the rushing water coming from behind the party?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna fucking barrel towards the one who's already injured, and actually, how bad does he look right now?
Like I said, the last one, definitely not spicy. These two individuals are the ones that have made it the best through this part.
Okay.
The other two, one was injured and had to head back, and the other one was killed by the sneak attack from the troglodyte.
I see. She doesn't want to just hop into both their ranges like that, so she'll take a hand axe and chuck it at the one that
Roll with
has some
disadvantage.
scrapes on him. How far away are they?
Roll with disadvantage. It's not a matter of
Okay.
It's not a matter of range.
That's not good. 14?
How much?
14? Oh, sorry, 13.
13. Yeah, you throw the hand axe, and that tension in their knees gives it away as individual you throw it at definitely moves to the side as it continues to go into the room. Doesn't hit anybody, including your party, but it is a miss.
They just did something. Fucking let loose.
Anything else from you, Jasper?
No, that's it.
All right. Then it is Rory.
Yeah, Rory does not really trust these individuals, and with Jasper taking the initiative, I am gonna go join and try and make an attack as well.
Roll with
So.
disadvantage.
Okay. That's a 23.
23 will hit. Yeah. Which one are you hitting? The one that dropped the torch or the one that did the whistle? We're going to refer to them as whistle and torch from now on.
I'm gonna go after Whistle. I'm gonna hit Whistle.
All right, going after whistle.
All right, so that's gonna be for 7 bludgeoning, and I don't trust what's coming here, so I am gonna go ahead and use, I believe, Step of the Wind or Patient Defense to take a dodge action here as well with my bonus action.
Absolutely. Gotcha.
And I will stay right there. Thank you.
All right. Back at initiative 21 with Jove. What you got?
Yeah, he'll just go ahead and since they are definitely in a fighting posture at this point, he's gonna go ahead and throw loose a javelin at Rornak hit Whistle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he'll throw at Whistle with disadvantage, I'm guessing.
Indeed.
All right, let's see here. Okay, so either a 17 or a 17.
17 will hit.
Excellent. I'll go ahead and add Akila's D6 of lightning on that. For, let's see here, got 5 lightning, and we've got 12 piercing.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, Jove, kind of. If you were flying on this cave wall, he doesn't take pleasure in doing this, but it's a pretty clinical thing. He rolls back and just with that perfect. It almost looks like he's got Gumby joints when he's doing this, and he's able really to extend and make use of every single muscle. And and he just skewers the guy just like straight center of the chest. And yeah, definitely won't be whistling anymore after that. The extra lightning damage added by Aquila, I'd like to think just makes that death rattle that people have in general just all the much worse as he kind of falls to the ground and starts spazzing out a little bit.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, as his body hits the floor, a rush of water enters into the chamber. I need everyone to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Jeez.
Tom, just if that happens like after my turn, can I just say that Aquila does the same thing, takes the dodge action, does that whole bit?
Aquila always takes the dodge action.
Perfect.
When it is her turn. If you don't use, your bonus action to give her a command, I believe the way it's written is she always takes the dodge action.
Indeed. Just wanted to be 100% clear.
Yes, absolutely. Aquila does take the dodge action. So I need everybody to roll me that dexterity saving throw.
It's gonna be an 18.
18 to pass.
Don't tell Groovy what you rolled, Mikey.
Oh, I'm in the
No.
groovy chat.
Yeah. I got 16, Jove did. Aquila, however, only got a 10.
17 for Rory.
Everyone but Freddy and Aquila pass. You all take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as this water rushes in with a lot of force. The body of Whistle being swept into the room outwards. However, Torch embraces the water, lets it wash over them, and it pulls into their body like a sponge. The parts of it washing over, a mix of water and blood, almost filling, expanding inside this individual. However, for Freddy and Aquila, you're going to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are knocked prone.
On top of the two?
No,
Or two more?
Two
Okay.
more, so it's halved. So it's 4 if you failed, 2 if you succeeded, and if you failed, you're knocked prone. As it, and it's like his body stretches and rips. It's like his skin goes from a solid to a liquid, and almost in this awful serpentine form suddenly fills up, blocking off with Jove, Freddy, and Rory and Aquila on one side. Jasper on the other side with Zanzan. This strange, bloody, brackish-colored, almost serpentine form. You can see vestiges of just traces of the humanoid left in there. A strange nail here, almost like a hand appearing before breaking and spreading off as it rises up, becoming a large creature at this point. And so that's on 20. Zanzan, at that point, oh man, is going to reach out and, with a little bit of Aquila's kind of tacky, orange, sticky lightning residue, is going to stick his hand in, and it goes out, and with kind of a flick of his spell book, there's a small jolt as it shoots through the body of this creature. So he's going to cast Shocking Grasp. However, as it goes through, it just can't seem to get through just the mass of water here. As it the sticky residue of Aquila's is just whipped away by the size of this creature. And oh, that's bad, man. As he tries to step away from that, it's going to use its opportunity of attack on Zanzan. And just barely, he's able to jump back and get right back behind you, Jasper. That's his turn. However, now it is this creature's turn. So, it roils around, and I believe, Rory, you're up in the grill.
I am up near them, yes.
All right. That is going to be a 14 towards you.
Okay. That is also with disadvantage, too.
Yeah, with disadvantage. Okay. That drops it down to below 14, to a 12.
Okay. Neither do hit, but yeah.
Gotcha. And
Then
just, yeah.
My held vicious mockery never went off, so let's just do that to this guy since he's attacking a friend.
Got you. Wisdom. All right, that's going to be an 18 in wisdom.
That passes.
That passes. Yeah, you send out, and just like Zanzan's magic, it's almost like the liquid nature of this creature just has it ripple off of it. It can't seem to take hold. Jasper, you didn't run all the way in, but close enough for a hand axe, correct?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's gonna come after you. And so it's gonna move. Rory,
Okay.
feel free to take an attack of opportunity.
I certainly will. Does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
Right. That'll be for 2 bludgeoning.
For 2 bludgeoning, yeah, it's like smacking the flat of a water. It makes a big smack noise. However, it doesn't feel like it has much purchase. Got it. All right, Jasper. It now moves towards you. This torrent of fleshy water. That is going to be a 22.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do. You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are currently grappled.
Ooh, don't like that.
As it's almost less of it like serpentine going around you. It's just suddenly you are hit with this torrent of water, and then it firms up around you. You're not currently drowning. However, you can feel the restriction here, the heaviness of the water pressure, like it's actively holding and constricting around you. But that is going to be its turn. Then it is Freddy's turn.
Okay. We are. Is the watery thing the only enemy at this point?
The only one that you can see, yes.
Um. Has anybody hit it yet? Yes.
Rory hit it. Rory hit it once.
Okay.
With the passing strike, it did not look very effective.
Right.
Dun
So I
dun
don't
dun
think
dun
sleep is
dun
the move
dun
yet.
dun.
So we're just gonna do. Damn it! Everything's wisdom saves. Let's do. You know what? We're gonna do a charge from my staff. And do
Ooh.
charm person
Oh.
because it's a humanoid figure, right?
That's
Roll.
not really a combat spell. Oh, sorry. for
Oh wait, no,
spoiling
not
that.
charm person. Sorry, command. That's
Command. Yeah,
clicked
what's
on
the
the wrong
save on that one? Is it wisdom?
Wisdom save, yeah.
Wisdom save? Alright. Real quick, roll me an Arcana, just for funsies, real quick, Freddy.
Arcana. 15.
15? Yeah, you're not entirely sure with the makeup of this creature if it'll stick, but you certainly are willing to try, and it rolls an 11.
All right. So if it does hit, it has to. It cannot be undead. It has to understand my language. And obviously it has to fit the description according to you of whether or not it works. But my command is drop.
It does indeed drop. Jasper, you are not restricted anymore. However, its body, it's like the water itself all drops, losing less of its form, and suddenly the tunnel begins to rise and fill with water as its body spreads out. It's like you're all standing in this creature now. It's like it let loose its form. So you are currently not constricted. However, everywhere you stand is A, difficult terrain, and B, also this creature.
Okay.
But for the moment, you are not constricted, or no longer in the grapple. It's not enough to flood towards where you're at, Freddy and Jove. However, Rory, Zanzan, Jasper, you are clearly standing at least knee-deep in this, if not higher. And it's entirely too warm. After being in the cold water of this rain and sewers and just Mulmmaster in general, this is almost unpleasantly hot in the water. Not quite enough to steam, but it feels just like thick blood than water at this point.
Ew.
And then I'm just gonna
Wonderful.
summon a Johnny and say, "Hey Johnny, go make sure our friend Rory don't drown out there." As I send a bardic inspiration your way.
Why, thank you.
And that's my turn.
As Johnny goes over and you receive a bardic Johnny. Then it is Jasper.
kind of invigorated by Freddy's good move, she's gonna go ahead and use bonus action for second wind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And beautiful. That'll get me to full health.
Nice.
That was the best one so far. So since we're like balls deep in this enemy, are there technically hostile creatures within 5 feet of him?
Or friendly.
You're striking a body
Oh,
of
yeah,
water, so in this respect, no.
That's a totally fair evaluation. So I'll just roll a regular attack here. That's gonna be a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
Beautiful. This is gonna be regular. For 8 slashing.
For 8 slashing. Yeah, you bring your battle axe down on just around you. Just striking out against this water that you know has been transmorgified into something that is clearly not just water. And it's a strange sensation. You cut it, and it's almost like you're cutting through jello. And you can feel the battle axe scrape against the ground. You find that it cuts cleanly through this, and there is a ripple, much like a thing of jello. And Rory, you can feel it too, that the water becomes less liquid and more of that kind of sockwood jello, as it almost hardens in places, and you can feel it beginning to pull towards that point of damage. But it does cut, which is strange since you're striking a body of water.
Yeah.
But it is with the battle axe.
It cuts, but does it kill?
That'll be her turn.
All right. Then it's Rory.
All right. Well, Rory is going to head towards that same jello spot that Jasper is at, and we're gonna take a whack at it and see if anything gives.
All right, go for it. Attack.
That's a 24 to hit.
Nice.
24. 24 will hit. Thank you, Jove. Your concentration still sticks.
Yes.
For everyone
And
who doesn't
then-
remember, it's 10 or half the damage taken for concentration. Go for it, Rory.
And then,
sorry.
yeah, no, and I was gonna say, I rolled for the bonus attack as well. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit.
Okay, fair.
Damn, how'd you miss a puddle of water?
He punched straight through into the wound. He just punched the ground. Just missed the
Yeah,
water
that's
completely.
the unarmed one, and like, yeah, exactly. Like, you go for the punch, and it's just
Punch
it's all good,
straight,
but not.
straight rock on the ground. Just pop, and you feel that shiver of just like, ooh,
No.
like an anime
Uh,
character.
With the staff two-handed, though, that is going to be 12 bludgeoning.
12 bludgeoning. Gotcha. Yeah, you strike down Rory, and it is in the kind of same spot, and you break through some of that, fleshy jello-ness of this. It doesn't cut as nicely or cleanly. It's more of just like widening up the slash from Jasper, but it feels much better than the first strike.
Nice. And I will remain right there. Thank you.
All right. Yov.
I'm pretty close to Freddy, right? If not, like right next to him.
Yeah, if you haven't moved anywhere, then yeah, you are very close to Freddy. No more than 5 or 10 feet.
Cool. Well, then I just want to position myself in front of Freddy, so it's kind of like Monster Me, then Freddy, and then from there.
Sounds like
I
a great
will-
album. Monster Me and Freddy.
Freddy. That is a good album. I'll go ahead and use bonus action to move Hunter's Mark to the watery creature, and then go ahead and toss a javelin.
Go for it. Let's see it.
Does a 15 do?
A 15 do.
Ooh. Aquila kind of like, because she's prone and on her belly, I imagine she kind of just like whips her head to use her reaction and spit out some of this lightning spittle. And we have only 1 lightning and 9 piercing.
Lightning, 9 piercing. You got it. Yeah, you throw out the javelin, and it strikes the water. It's almost kind of floats by the time it like loses its speed very quickly, even with Akila's acceleration. And you just see that kind of spittle once again just gets moved out because of just the body of this water. It's not like a regular creature. It won't take as well as some of the humanoids that you have used it on. Very similar to kind of Zanzan's. The lightning spit doesn't seem to be able to overtake this volume of fleshy water.
Then Aquila on her turn is going to use half of her movement to get off of prone, and then close the distance. So she's kind of, I imagine myself being in front of Freddy, and then Aquila at like Freddy's side.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a ton of sense.
And that's my turn.
All right. Then it is Zanzan, who is kind of bewildered at this one. So he is going to open up his spell book and take 3 strands of his hair and place it on the book, and then flips it forward, and this kind of orangeous, creamy red, like bolts of energy, with his hair being kind of the centerpiece of it. Pew, pew, pew. And they do. Oh, that is going to be 12 points of force damage.
Nice.
And in the 3 spots you see that it strikes all the way to the ground. You can see a little bit of a crack in each spot. And you hear him say, "Magic missile never misses, man." And so he is going to continue to back up, though, so he's not stepping in any of this. He's going to take his tall, wizardy body and move back into the room farther away from this. Doing that as he's kind of backing away. Then it is the flesh puddle's turn. As it's all of between the javelin and the strike, the quarterstaff and the battle staff and the magic and the bullets. Suddenly, it's like a bass tone goes out through this water, and Rory and Jasper, you can feel the. It's like it all quivers and thrums before. It's like all the parts of it go up in like almost like a spear, almost like 2 hands coming together, and you're both going to take an attack together. You're both getting 1 individual attack, but for narrative purposes, it's like a big clap on both of you guys, since you're right next to each other. For Rory, that is going to be a 16.
That meets.
All right, and for you, Jasper, that is going to be a 19.
That'll do it, big shoots.
All right, I'm just going to roll the damage together. Make this easier on me. So you will both take 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
Wowza.
And you are both currently grappled. It holds and pulls all the water. Like Freddy and Jove and Aquila feel the water pull past you. It's like being pulled in. Whatever little bits of water that were still trickling in from deeper down the tunnel are all pulled in at disturbing speed. Same from Zanzan as they feel the water get pulled past, their legs. For you, Joe, probably closer to hips in some places. And then all rises up like 2 hands before crashing down. And you can see it's like almost like a cat's cradle pattern of this serpentine human puddle like water crisscrossing in between Jasper and Rory, holding them both. And you can see just the even in this kind of dark area, although Jasper, I believe your pants are still lit, you can just see it just like when you hold a flashlight beneath your hand and you can see, the veins and everything, and the shadow of bones behind. It's like that kind of effect with Jasper being held
Ewy.
inside. And it's crushed. You guys are almost slammed together. Half of the damage feeling like just the impact of your two solid bodies colliding against each other. That's going to be its turn as we move down to Freddy.
I could see both of them, yeah.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yep. Then I'm going to do a second level healing word on Jasper.
The mint comes back out, the spearmint.
Yeah. And get 7.
Beautiful. Much appreciated.
And what are you going to use what you doing for your action?
Good question. I can just do vicious mockery on what I can see.
Well, that's a 2, so
I would say that fails.
that will indeed fail.
So that's 2 psychic and disadvantage on attacks. Or next attack.
Yeah, as a wave of that green and kind of pink energy trail each other, one, almost pushing out this fleshy water away from you, Jasper, as you inhale, and you can feel that it gives you the space to breathe all the way in. You can feel that kind of soothing, healing energy. The rest kind of arcs in a almost lightning-esque effect that actually takes hold this time, goes through. You can see little strands, this kind of cat's cradle, fleshy water, break and try to reform as it's trying to focus on holding itself together and you all whilst dealing with this magic, which is just like almost like a little lightning Johnny jumping through it at high speeds.
Some would say I just strummed a power chord.
I'm not going to take -1, but I'm not going to give you a +1 either. All right. Then moving down, Freddy, I assume you're going to step put behind Jove and Aquila?
Yeah, until it tries to fuck with me.
Gotcha. Then it is Jasper.
I'm gonna be an annoying rogue and ask if my sneak attack procs on an attack.
Yes. Since this is all around you, you are grappled, so you have a speed of 0. And yeah, so if you don't want to end the grapple and just attack instead, you may.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I'll just make an attack. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna look back at Zanzan. What does his posture look like? I'm gonna go ahead and just leave y'all to this, or is it like, is he still invested in the fight?
Make an insight roll.
Okay. It's a thing I'm bad at. Yeah, it's only an 8.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly using some magic to help you out. It looked like that last attack did some significant damage to whatever this creature is. You can still see him. Your best bet? Where's he gonna go?
Yeah, her head's in the game right now, so she'll make that battle axe attack.
Do it.
That's another 21.
21 will hit.
Beautiful. And this time with sneak attack, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. That's going to be 16 slashing.
Yeah, almost. Almost following the kind of Pink Johnny vicious mockery energy that's coursing through this. You see just that kind of perfect area of strands, and you pull the battle axe. And whilst you're still kind of shoved together with Rory, you at least know you don't have to worry about that side. And you slash down through it, and you can definitely feel through the entire body of this creature. You can see that water's beginning to leak out from the bottom after that slash and start to spread back around. It's losing its ability to hold its form. And there's these awful kind of kind of bubbling, groaning noises. You can ever see so faintly what appears to be almost kind of like stuck together mouths that appear just for a second to cry out from this flesh puddle creature. Yeah, it seems significantly hurt. You can feel the strength waning. It still has you grappled, but it is getting weaker.
Beautiful. That'll be it.
All right, then Rory.
All right. I guess
Reminder: you have bardic inspiration.
I do remember that I have that.
Oh,
yes.
actually. Yeah, no, never mind. Go on. Sorry.
You don't get. I we're going for the attack here. It seems so. I will still try to make an attack while grappled. So.
Ja.
With the bardic inspiration, that is a 16 to hit.
16 will hit.
And then my
Yes.
bardic inspiration procs. He used it for an attack roll, which is the best one.
Yeah.
It needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
A Constitution saving throw. That is something it's all right at. Ooh, it is only a 12.
Ah. So it takes thunder damage equal to the number that you rolled on that bardic inspiration die.
That was the 4.
A
For thunder, as Johnny jumps out and just kind of like self detonates to try and like make it loosen its grip on him.
Rory, how much do you roll for that first hit? Tell me that first.
That's gonna be 10 bludgeoning.
10 bludgeoning. In tandem with Johnny's explosion. How do you want to do this?
Oh
Yeah,
Yes.
buddy.
It's like it's got me right then and there. So I feel like with Johnny, like it's kind of just grabbing the staff and just kind of like almost like basically shoving it upwards, but using the Johnny to like almost propel the Johnny through it. Like I'm using Johnny himself almost as like a missile to like just send through this like sort of jello kind of solid liquid and just like tear through it essentially.
And as you tear through this, there's an audible, almost painful, like popping, like a balloon at full speed, and water and other bits, more solid bits, things that are no longer water, begin to kind of flood through the room. Not enough to make a saving throw for anyone, but it disperses as you and Jasper are released from this grip. And as it kind of floods into this through this kind of tunnel back into that antechamber, once again, you can see. Everybody, roll me a perception check real quick.
That's a 19.
14.
My passive is 9.
21.
14 and above. So 14 and or below 14, you count 3 hands. Those above 14 counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a number of eyes washed away through this. Half malformed, bits of bone and flesh still sticking out of it. The water, a dark, almost blackish red as it seeps through, washing and mixing in into kind of this antechamber, continuing back along the tunnel. This slow kind of trickle, like watching water follow the path of a road after a heavy rain into a drain.
Ooh, good description.
But the chamber once again gets quiet. Just the sound of the ever-present sound of water moving and rumbling through the sewers of Mulmmaster. We are out of initiative.
We did it. We did it.
Well
We
done,
did
Rory.
it. Hooray.
Hooray! Don't thank me. Thank Johnny.
I mean, it looked
You
like
look a little-
Yoax that did it.
It was a group effort.
So,
Doing right
Zan,
over there, Zanzan?
I mean, yeah, man. That was wild. How'd you do that whole trick with the little rats and the explosion? I mean, that's nice, man.
A magician never reveals their secrets, Zanny.
Right, man. Nice, right. Wish I'd known that they could do this trick. I don't know why we were in a stalemate, man.
yeah, you didn't know that they
Well,
could turn into some sort of water monster like that?
If they could turn into a giant water monster like that, man, why wouldn't we have just cleared the tunnels out? It don't make any sense, man.
Did you
Maybe.
have any idea about this either? I mean, did you really know who you were running with this whole time?
I know that they were like water fanatics, man, but I didn't think that they could turn into water fantastic creatures, man.
out of curiosity, did you ever hear the word Archamental pop up at any point?
Um, man, Archamental is a whole new word for me.
That's that's for the best.
What's an Archamental?
Oh, seems to be something that is no good. We've run into other water-obsessed people that, well, were worshipping an Archamental. Just, some
Particularly
curiosity.
one called Allah Hydra. Does that sound like anything?
I don't know much about Alahadra, but sounds like bad news, man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
those cultists are bad news. You know, had we not shown up, you probably would have been turned to mincemeat at some point.
Yep, that's some good intuition on your part, friend.
Wow, I mean, I really owe you guys one, man. That was. Whoa. Man, I might have just died right there. Whoa. Man, that's bad. That's like real bad. And we didn't even get into the tomb yet, man. Whoa.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
Hey, Zanny, do you have a pen or something that you used to write in your book that I could borrow for a second?
Oh, yeah, man. A wizard never forgets his writing supplies.
I take out my book and I write down Zanzan says he owes us one. Can I get you to sign here? I mean, you just said it. I just need record.
No. Nice, though, but no. Come on.
Man, I tried.
I appreciate that, man. Luckily, I can read and write in a couple different languages, but you know, I don't like to show off, man.
Well,
But how
maybe
about
these folks.
Nah, you first. You first, Jove.
I was just thinking, you know, if these folks were engineering some sort of a stalemate, then maybe we should be pretty cautious before we move into this tomb. Maybe they were either waiting for some backup, or there's something real nasty that they're preparing for, maybe to off you before they got in there and got their hands on whatever they need. So, yeah, were you expecting any more folks to come to your camp or anything like that?
Nah, I wasn't expecting anybody else to come, you know. Between us, now that this is all over, man, I was gonna wait till after we opened up the tomb and stuff, and hopefully bad things would happen to them, and then I could get what I came for, and maybe find some other stuff. I was trying to slow play that one.
Well, seeing as how the situation's changed a bit,
Yeah,
and seeing as how you openly admitted that you probably would have died there without us, I think perhaps me and my companions are due for a cut of what's in that tomb if we are to continue.
We'd be happy to take the cut that was set aside for those folks that just washed away.
oh, absolutely, man. You guys can have that. There's only one thing I'm really looking for in there, man. Been told that there's like a real jacked up wand inside that tomb. That's all I really want, man. Anything else we find, anything you find on them, you guys can have it, man. I mean, I'd probably be. Well, what would you say would happen to you if you got caught up in that water monster thing? Are you like drowned? Are you crushed? I don't really know how to explain that one. Never seen something like that before, man. But like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been pleasant, whatever it would have been. Um,
Seems like a pretty
Rory, you
favorable
doing okay?
agreement here. Uh,
Do you want to rest?
well, I am a little beat up. We could rest, or if we want to push on ahead, I did actually brew a couple more of these, as he does take out just one of a flask of his healing potions that he's brewed and kind of holds it out and says, I might down one real quick if we're rearing to go. If anybody else is feeling a little rough, just let me know.
You see Jove kind of move his shoulder where he got hit with that javelin at the top of this whole encounter and says, "Well, Gornak, I was actually just about to ask you if you had any more of that brew. I'm to be frank, not feeling 100% good. Got sprung myself a little bit of leak."
Oh, well, say no more then, as he hands that over to you and says, did a little bit of extra tweaking with this one while I was out learning. I think you might find that it is, well, it's going to sting the nostrils a little bit more, but it's quite potent. And for game's sake, know that that is a potion of greater healing, which is 4d4.
+4.
If
Yeah.
if we 3 out of 5 of us are scraped up, are we sure we don't want to just take a bit? Lord knows what we're gonna encounter. Sorry,
Yeah,
Mask knows what we're gonna encounter when we get further down.
I didn't really get much of a rest the last time we sat down, so I mean I'd be willing to rest my heels for a little bit. You know, though I don't know if time's of the essence here. I'm not sure. I wasn't keeping count. I don't know if we're gonna have more of those piratey fellas coming up our rear anytime soon.
We can sit on the opposite side, so if they do approach us, they'll have to close the distance first, give us some time to react.
It's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll ask Aquila to sit in the hall and keep watch for us. She's got that. She was telling me she can see in the dark, which is pretty cool.
Duh. I can't see in dark.
This sounds like a good plan. I could use a sit down. And she's gonna actually go to the, like, where she stood to look into the next room and sit down there. And maybe take another close, or not a close look, but another detailed look at the room forward.
There's only so much you can see without entering in. There's absolutely no source of light in here besides that soft kind of blue glow of the pool. But you can tell that the pool itself is rather large, probably closer to 40 feet in diameter. And it just continues. It doesn't like move or shake or show any signs of like light reflecting off of moving water. It just seems still. Just a kind of soft, almost not quite sterile light, not quite fluorescent, but just this kind of light blue glow. The rest of the room is still incredibly dark, so that just draws your eye to it every time.
So Zanzan, what did you mean by jacked up wand? What do you know about this thing?
Well, man, so like, in the tomb supposed to be, some water worshipping stuff, which kind of makes sense now that, those dudes kind of upset I didn't put that one all together. But been told that like in the right hands, it can really soups up your magic, help you break through if you're feeling stuck, and really light you up. Now I don't know how true that is, but It's what I've been kind of looking for. I'm supposed to go find. Everything else was just kind of tertiary, peripheral, man. I got big dreams of being like a real arcanist, you know? Not just Zan the Milani.
Well, you fought well enough beside us, so I hope you get what's coming to you.
Thanks, man. I hope there's like more than just the wand in there, you know? Old, whatever, fish people treasures and stuff. At the very least, you got all them gems back there. I mean, they're probably really dirty, but like, have at 'em, dude.
Yeah, I think we will, thank you. And, yeah, she'll just sit in silence for the rest.
So are we taking a short rest?
Yes, I believe that's the
Assuming everyone
conclusion.
is amenable.
Yep.
Yes.
You all get an extra 1d6 if you spend a hit die.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I am gonna
Woohoo.
use one.
So
for my
after your first
fire.
hit die, roll that 1d6 just so you don't waste extras.
Yeah.
Will do.
I forget, do you add con to hit dice rolls? Or is it just flat?
Let me search real quick.
You do, as far as I understand.
I'm pretty sure you do. I just wanted
In education, we call that a good question, Kyle.
Ow, Kyle.
Full of those.
Wow.
Yes, you do add your Constitution modifier to it.
Thank you.
Yep, on page 186 of the PHB.
We'll have to use my remaining hit die for this, but I am at full.
Ooh, got max on that Song of Rest dice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Freddie, I
I
assume you
am-
pull out your what is it? Your harp? That's what you're carrying on you right now?
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's my main instrument right now.
And that same kind of going through the chords and just playing as is Freddie's nature. It's almost always little like wisp of green just kind of shoot out, not controlled or with any sort of real like purpose, just naturally from the playing. That kind of spearminty green, just kind of
Making an ambiance of green.
yeah. It's always soothing, especially after that. Between the light of Jasper's pants, the kind of blue in the background, the little soft wisp of green, as you all kind of sit and rest, take a moment to breathe, talk to Zan, and prepare yourselves for the next leg of your adventure. Has everybody rolled in on their hit dice?
Yes,
Double.
sir.
Yes.
I was double checking, and Aquila does have hit dice. So let me roll that out. Sorry. Cool. All right, we are golden.
All right, so you guys take a quick half hour, sit, rest, get the songs out, use what you need to gather yourselves, and at the end of the half hour, you all begin standing up, preparing. Like I described earlier, you see the kind of soft blue light of what seems to be a rather large pool inside this room, and even from this outside, you can tell that this is a far larger room than any of the smaller antechambers you have been going into. In fact, you notice on the walls of the vase reliefs, there's a depiction of what looks to be kind of this central Kuatoa character through all these vase reliefs, and this really nice kind of artesian style. Not quite portrait, but scene. Like the many scenes around the Heroes Guild and Fable, for any of you Fable fans out there. And it shows what appears to be, like the creation of like a wall with three of these other kind of Kuatoa looking individuals forming like this wall, and behind it, you're not entirely sure. But it's strange because while the rest of them have been, scenes of using water and magic and other kind of depictions of animalistic arcana, this one seems more deliberate. It includes more Kuatoa than just kind of the singular figure. But you all rise from your rest and begin entering into the next room, unless there's anyone stopping our forward movement. I'll take the silence as a no. So as you enter in, Jasper's pants illuminating the area, you can see that it is a large, high-ceilinged room. The walls are covered with more and more of these boss reliefs depicting more of this kind of same central Kuatoa. Some repeats of some that you've seen before, but all of them done in an incredibly well artesian, in some places almost lifelike. You see this 40 foot in diameter lipless bowl. It's perfectly flush with the pool, or with the floor, I should say. And the water inside is crystal clear. Not even a drop, not even a speck of things floating inside. Perfectly still. You're guessing it's only a couple feet deep. And still kind of glows with that cool light. Almost like a night light in this, as it kind of blends and moves around with the light from Jasper's pants. Looking around the room, you can see that there does appear to be a corpse inside the room of a troglodyte kind of sprawled out in front of the pool. And then behind the pool, you see a large wall of some sort. It's differently made. It doesn't match the same materials. It almost looks like an entire like an archway was filled up with mud instead of the kind of stone and bas reliefs that cover kind of the rest of this room. It's like almost like a single slab of mostly hardened mud. But what really draws the eye is that there are three stone kind of Piscean faces. Definitely Kuatoa matching so much of the other bas reliefs around. They appear to be the better part of 10 feet up into the air, and they all stick out kind of like the bottom part of a J, almost moving upward, their mouths open. Could everyone roll me a perception check real quick?
Whoa, 18.
16.
17.
20, not nat.
So
Yeah.
close to the straight.
Right.
Almost. Yeah, you all easily notice that it almost looks like there are funnels in the mouths of these things. Looking from the side, you can see that right where kind of the corners of the mouth meet, you can see it's almost like another object has been placed inside. It looks funnel-like in nature. But yes, that is what you see in this room, along with a couple of other what appear to be old, kind of imagine Greek-style vases that kind of line the outside. Many of them have, just kind of that same, not quite mildewy, but kind of like slick dust that has been there for a while, almost kind of caked on in places as you look around. Kind of like a room you'd find in Zelda, that if you roll through, maybe there are rupees inside. Some akin to that around the kind of room, but that is what you see. No other
Jove?
entrances or exits besides the one that you came in. But yes, Jove.
I wanted to check out the troglodyte. I want to investigate specifically, do I see any like cut wounds or deep bruises or anything like that?
Make me
That's
a
actually exactly what I was gonna do. Could I help with that?
Jove, make me a medicine check with advantage. as you and Jasper begin looking over the body of this troglodyte. It does immediately appear to be malnourished.
I got a nat 20.
Nat 20, roll no more. With the nat 20, looking at this, you've seen signs of this before. Clearly, this troglodyte drowned here. You don't see any, like, cut wounds or pierce wounds. Clearly drowned. And probably for a day or two. Not enough to... Definitely been cold for a while, but not so much that it started to decay. However, the stench is... Troglodytes smell awful. Dead troglodytes smell extra awful.
You seeing what I seen, Jasper? No cuts, no bruises, nothing. I think this thing drowned. Don't know how, but it's my best guess.
Hmm.
And not for too long either. The body's still, well, it's clammy, but the heartbeat didn't stop too long ago.
Maybe there's some sort of mechanism that you can mess up, and it unknowingly tripped whatever that was.
Lines up with the stories I heard from Gaffer. All of his best ones had some sort of cool door where if it went sideways, it would chop your hand off or release your head from your shoulders. Hadn't heard anything about drowning though, so be able to top him on that one. But that's besides the point. Whatever we do to get through this door, we just got to make sure that we do it right.
So there is there's the kind of Greek pottery. Did you say there was another bowl, or was the lipless bowl what the pool of water was in?
Yeah, it's like a pool, but it's definitely like a bowl. Definitely has been created by something. Isn't naturally forming, or like has any places where water could be seeping into this. This has been clearly made here, and then lots of other kind of like these pots and pottery that all look incredibly old. But that's the bulk of it. There's no like big tomb or like coffin. There's no, crazy spikes hanging from the ceiling or anything like that. Just this pool, and then the kind of, besides, the kind of bas reliefs and pottery around, those 3 Kuatoa heads. Oh, they almost look like mounted in kind of this solid mud-like wall. And I mean, it really does not match the rest of this. The rest of it looks like old, grayed out kind of stone that has been deliberately placed. The bowl looks immaculate, like it hasn't been touched by the time. Even the pottery looks to be well made. But this area, while the faces, the heads of these Kuatoa, definitely stone, they look lifelike. The wall behind it is so muddy and rough. It's jarring how much it doesn't match the rest of this room.
By any chance, are the mouths of the heads open?
Yes, definitely.
Freddy, you've been...
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I know Freddy Boy's been going to school and learning stuff. Learn anything about fish people in history class there, Freddy?
I don't know. Have I?
The study of Kuatoa is not a focal point of the curriculum taught at the Tower of Arcane Might.
Prove it.
Roll history. Not with advantage.
I thought that was a 1. It's a 7. 10.
A 10? Yeah, I've studied fish people. What do you know about them? They're fishy. But no deep dives in Kuatoa culture, knowledge, or history. They're not a present force in Mulmmaster. They're wives' tales. I mean, yeah, the closest thing you have to like hearing anything about them is growing up as a kid. If on a moonless night, if you go out towards the Bay of Mulmmaster and you dive into the bay naked, a Kuatoa will come and drive you away, so don't go out into the bay on a moonless night. Dumb kid stories like that. But other than that, no. Nothing big, especially from the Tower of Arcane Might.
Enlightening as always.
You're welcome.
Get your money's worth.
Do any of you think maybe we're meant to transport some of this water in the bowl to the mouths of those heads? Maybe with the pottery or some shit?
Well, there was something on the walls back there. I was looking at. Maybe I don't know. There's been a lot of shit as we've been going through, but I think I saw something like a wall. I think you're onto something. I don't think this is the tomb. I mean, for one, there ain't no fancy wand down here, but
You said the pottery was kind of Greek style. Is there any sort of art on it that communicates anything?
Looking at it, there doesn't appear to be any, not like Hercules, where it's telling the story of Hercules, for those
Right.
fans of that. No, just really, just kind of, they're nicely made, but they doesn't seem to have, like, any markings on it or signifiers.
Are they empty?
Going
I
up
was
to
just
one,
gonna ask.
yeah. Rory and Jasper, you go to some of these pots and you wipe away some of the muck on them, pick them up, feel their weight. They are heavier than you anticipated, but they're not filled with anything. They're just, rather solid vases of the like. You flip them upside down and, some bits of like muck and cobwebs, some stilts, maybe just from residual humidity and just time here. But overall, yeah, empty.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We use these to transport water into the mouths. They're very heavy. I think the act of filling them should require 2 people. And carrying them over should also require 2 people. But I imagine we might end up on a time crunch. We don't want to drown in this room. So perhaps we should fill 3 of them first, and then start to move them over to the heads, and then try to do them all at the same time if possible.
not a bad idea. But I hate to point this out, but I am on the shorter side. Not sure if it'd be much help getting it up into that mouth.
It's alright if you have trouble getting it up. We can have Zanzan fill in for you.
He'll fluff me up. It's all good. Okay.
Zanzan, does that sound good to your sensibilities? Freddy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
man.
question.
It's just, how are we gonna actually get up there? Like, I'm tall, man, but I'm not that tall.
I'm sorry, how high up are they?
They're 10 feet up.
That's...
Why don't we just like fill our mouths with water and then just do like one of those water fountain things where you just like up in there.
I don't know that I want to put this fucking stagnant cave water in that's glowing in my mouth, but you're welcome to give that a shot.
Hey,
Actually, don't give that a
it's a
shot.
healthy
I don't
glow.
want us all to drown because
Maybe it's a
then
healthy
make
glow. You don't know.
Do you have a spell of any sort that could do something like that?
Do I have a spell that can do a water fountain type thing?
Or move the water? I don't know. Zanzan, do you have anything?
Not really my forte, man. I mean, I could definitely, boof on up on top to the heads and you could, like, sit there, but I only got so many of those left in the tank. I mean, that wall's real weird. It's, like, not all the way stable, man.
Hmm.
I mean, I could set up a pulley system if somebody could get up to the roof, but that's going to be slow going, and if water starts rising, that's going to be kind of a no go.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. If the water rises, then we don't have to do shit. We just fill them half
It
full
floats up.
and wait for the water to rise.
Well, hey, it's not a bad idea. Well, I mean, I don't. The pots probably won't float, right?
I mean, if they're only half full, they should theoretically, right? That's how containers and water work, I think. Maybe not, since they're so heavy.
What
Yeah,
if we
and
were holding them?
they're solid amount, but they're not like 50-pound like vases.
Okay.
Let me back that up a little. They are heavy because they're full like vases and stuff, but not like,
Right.
wow, what are these made out of? Fucking lead? They're not that heavy.
Cisterns. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and some of
I
them
think
some of them aren't like two-handers. They come in a variety of different sizes. Some are almost closer to like a pouring vase more than anything else.
If we need help moving them around, I do have something I picked up from the wizard school. Is I can make a nice little cart appear. I've been told it's like I haven't used it yet, but it seems like from my readings that it's like a disc and it just carries things for me. It's pretty sweet.
Hmm. Since with the new description from Dom, that might not be necessary, but it's worth pulling out if things get serious really quickly, and we need to move those quicker than we anticipated. Um,
Sounds good for lugging out all the gold we're gonna get out of this tunnel.
yeah, might
That's
want to
true.
save that. Um, so
Well,
if this all sounds good to everybody, what are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, are we trying to? Is there a certain? Are we gonna like pour it all in at the same time? Do we want to do like a 1, 2, 3 type of situation? Just want to make sure we're all in the same boat because once we start, I have a feeling that if water does certainly rise, that's gonna be harder to call audibles once we're going.
Um, do the three heads, do they, are they different in any noticeable way, or are they all kind of more or less the same?
They're all more or less the same.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't face different
all at once
directions
sounds
or
right to me.
have anything discerning from them, besides one being on the left, one being in the middle, and one being on the right.
Yeah, all at the same time. So I could do one, Rory could do one, and Freddy or Zanzan or both of them can do the third. But either way, we should all do it simultaneously, both filling the containers and moving them over and filling them in.
All right, man. So
Although,
first thing is to get these vases filled, right?
yeah, I'm thinking I should. This doesn't usually feel like the right thing to do in a deep dark cave, but I think I might need to take my armor off for this one. I don't much like the idea of sinking to the bottom and just standing there while you all slowly float up. So yeah.
That's not a bad idea. And in fact, before we do that, maybe we can tack up some some lines, as it were, so we can have some ropes to be pulling on. If somebody can let me give me a hand up, I can. Especially you, tall fella, if you don't mind me. You know, I give you permission, as you should always ask for little folk. If you wouldn't mind raising me up, I could sink a pin in into the wall and tie off a rope, and then that way, we'll have something to pull on just in case anybody goes under.
I assume you're talking to me.
Well,
I
actually,
think
I was
he's talking to
a.
me, man. As looks
Oh.
down onto you, Rory, because Zandan is the tallest person in this room, easily.
Well,
Um.
be my guest.
Why,
wouldn't
why
mind.
don't the other three of us get ourselves poised to fill these containers if something starts going weird?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, so Jove, as Freddy, Rory, and Jasper, as you guys go and collect whichever vase suits your fancy, you know, think about which vase you describes you as you look at all these vases. While you guys go to grab vases, Zan walks over with you, Jove, to the wall, and it's once again that same kind of almost mud like texture to it. They're like, all right, man, so you need to get up there. Let me get lower first. And he kind of takes a
Yeah.
knee and gets down. Do you want to like climb onto my shoulders first, man, and then you can just stand there, and it's got to be all legs, man. You got to lift with your legs, man.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll go ahead and hop on your back, and if you can just lift me up backpack style and get close, I'll be able to sink this in. And frankly, that wall looks a little sketchy to me. I wouldn't want to have a load bearing pinning out of that. Let's see if we can find a crag in some of the more natural looking cave wall, and let's sink it in there. If I'm, you know, out of character. If I'm reading the room right. You said that the wall is different than kind of the rest of the natural form cave?
Yeah, Joe, go ahead and make me an investigation check now that you're by this wall.
Yeah. Oh, that's another nat fucking 20.
Wow.
Yeah, you go up to it and
Oh.
you feel the stone of this, and it's real solid. Especially trying to balance on Zanzan to get a pin into the more stone part of the wall is gonna be very difficult. Especially as you're trying to balance on someone's back to get that pin up there into straight stone. That one's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be a hard one to go. But then you kind of start investigating the wall of this, and you kind of put a hand on it, and it very much does have. It's solid, definitely. Like you can feel it. You slap it once, and it has that real sound to it. However, you kind of press your fingers into it, and you can kind of get purchase, and you put a little force into it, and you almost make yourself your own little handhold in the wall of it. Seems to, as you push deeper into it, you can get farther to a point, and you remove it, and there's a nice little area where your fingers were. Not enough to carve out, but definitely enough to get a grip onto it.
Hey folks, check this out. This wall is kind of soft, almost clay-like. I think it might be climbable. I'm not sure if I want to sink a pin in here and have it be load bearing, but just in case, whenever you fill up that water, the room doesn't start to flood with water. Maybe we can do a little bit of rock climbing to get up here.
Yeah, Jove, go ahead and make me a strength check real quick. Athletics.
Athletics, gotcha.
Yeah.
Athletics is going to be 18.
18? Yeah, you. With the confidence of that first one, you reach up higher and get your fingers into it, and then you use the first kind of nook you made with your fingers, and you jam a foot into there, and jam your hands, and you all watch as Jove, with relative ease, makes his own handholds and climbs up this wall. And suddenly, Jove, you are like eye level with these kind of Kuotoa heads, and you can definitely see that there's a large funnel with a hole in it that seems to continue back into the wall. In fact, you easily enough you could almost sit on top of the head of this Kuotoa.
Yeah, folks. I think we're on the right track with putting water in here. Looks like there's some sort of funnel system that's going back further into the wall. So even though this is kind of wet and clay-like, I think we're on the right track. So I'd be willing to sit up here just in case the water starts rising and help guide y'all in. Throw out a rope and if need be. So Joe will
Well, if
actually
you
try
can't
and do
get it
that.
up, you might as well just guide us in. So I think we're ready.
Why? Quite skilled, Jasper. I have skills you've not even seen.
Yeah, man, I
Joe?
can hand this on up to you. If they bring me the vase and then use my height, then I can hand it up to you. You just gotta grab it a little bit and then hop from head to head to head. You can hop right on these heads, man.
Hell, that's not a half bad idea. Jove will go ahead and kind of mount one of the heads if he can.
Yeah, they're not huge. They're not exaggerated. They almost look they're closer to size. So anyone else might have some trouble besides maybe Freddy sitting on this, but with your halfling size, like you're easily able to straddle both sides of it, get solid, and for the first time with this party, you look head and shoulders above everybody else in the room, and it's neat. You're looking down in this kind of big circular room. There's the light of the pool right there. You can see your companions each have been grabbing, each have a vase of up to their standard, looking up to you. For the first time, the entirety of the party has to look up to Jove.
I could get used to this.
The rest of the party, as Jove is mounting a Kuoto ahead, and Zanzan is below him. Just for funsies, what kind of style vases do you get? They're all kind of, Greek in style, but there's tons of them there. So like a scene from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, make your choice. What kind of vase do you pull? Just for flavor.
Carpenter's
Jasper
son.
will pull a kind of a taller, more slender one, kind of reminiscent of like the one Galadriel uses to like pour into the whatever the magic thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Rory and Freddie.
Rory will go for one that is, I guess, maybe just a little bit more on kind of like the wide side around. He's got kind of a long like wingspan on him, so he kind of uses it to like kind of squat down and just really wrap his whole arms around it and kind of get the most comfortable grip that way.
Kind of like a gourd in shape.
Yeah.
Real gourd-like. Got it. And then you, Freddie?
I just grab the closest one when I get there. Any old jar.
Yeah, you find one and it's very wide and more shallow, but has a kind of bigger opening to it. It's the closest one there.
I try to
Kind of
pick
like
it
a
up,
soccer.
but I'm very weak, so I do end up getting a disc out and just using that to float it over.
Yeah, you grab the first one and try to just like pick it up, and you're like, oh, that's heavier, and then you all hear a breaking noise. And Freddie, you look and you look around, take your time, get the disc out, find another one. This one just more basic, almost like an hourglass figure to it, and put it right on top of the disc this time. Only a little less unwieldy than the first one, and it floats by your command. So you all have your bases. Who's going to fill up theirs first?
Since it's my plan, Jasper will.
Yeah,
Well, she's gonna kind of wait for the other two and try to do it simultaneously. Maybe a little bit before them.
Okay, so you're all at the pool with your various vases. And this kind of 40-foot diameter, you guys like all right next to each other? Or spread out at different
a little bit.
Spread out at different points in there, almost like a peace sign around this pool.
Sounds sensible. Have Freddy on the nearest side to the heads.
All right, so if it's a peace sign, Freddy's at the top points. On the bottom left, we'll put Jasper, and on the bottom right, we'll put Rory.
Perfect.
All right, and then Jasper, you said you got everybody there, and then you're the first one that's going to dip in.
Yep.
And so you dip in, and you get your vase in there, and the same just begins to fill up. And the water is, once again, it's clean, and it's cool, and there doesn't seem like there's a single impurity in this. It's quite nice, considering most of the water of Mulmmaster has something in it, whether it be excretions or blood or bits of pavements or other just kind of gunk. This is probably some of the cleanest water that you've seen that hasn't been boiled out and served for Mulmmaster nobles. And just to find such clean water in the middle of this sewer dungeon is interesting to say the least. And as you get your vase in there and you pull it out of the water, bits of the water drip down, and you can see it kind of ripple through the entirety of this little pool. And then from the droplets, it's almost like it connects back into the pool, and there is this almost like a tendril of water that shoots across and wraps around your waist. You don't have your armor on currently, do you?
No, she kept it on since there was the climbing wall.
Okie dokie. Well then, with advantage. Yeah, that's going to be a 19.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
tendril reaches in, and you feel it wrap around, squeezing tightly. You're going to take 1, 2, 6. You're going to take 9 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are pulled 5 feet into the pool. Your feet immediately dropping down as this almost. It's strange. The head of it is almost similar to the Kuotoa that you have all seen. However, instead of a short, squat body as it's been depicted, it almost fans out like an octopus style in this kind of pool. And its body is made of that same light blue, perfectly clear water that is now colored with Jasper as you are currently grappled in this pool. Everybody please roll me initiative.
Dang it. Great.
It was almost a 16, but it ended up being a 3. So 6.
Oh, wait, no. I have a little bit more. That's not plus my dex.
I gotta flip my combat page to a new page for this. Alright, so, guys. Guys.
Yeah, that's
we
what
want
we're
to see
working
what's
with.
up first.
Waiting to see how this goes down. Alright. Weird. And then. Jeff? Rar? Jeff? Fred? And Zan at the bottom. So, first is this creature.
Are you sure? We do have an 11.
And yeah, we do. You do have an 11, and Jasper, it is going to squeeze tighter against you. This time without advantage. However, that is going to be a 21 this time.
Yeah, that'll do.
This time you can feel it, and as it pulls you down, and the bludgeoning damage of it gets stronger and stronger. You are pulled underneath this pool. It's only 3 feet, but it is pulling you all the way down into it, deeper and deeper. It has now pulled you about 15 feet away from the lip of this bowl as you take another 13 points of bludgeoning damage. You're currently drowning.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah. Then it is Jove.
So is this thing even targetable? Like, is it
Oh, for sure, targetable.
okay? And like, I guess I'm just having trouble visualizing it. So is it just like tendrils that are like whipping out from the water now, or is it just like one like pseudopod thing that has grappled onto Jasper now?
It is made completely out of water. The center mass of it seems to be like a Kuotoa head. However, instead of like regular limbs, it has more tenderly water. And now that it is moving, it is clearly visible as it's pulling Jasper deeper into the center and down beneath the water. And it's easy enough to see with Jasper like being held into this.
Gotcha. And so does it take up the entire pool? Like this pool is animated?
It doesn't take up the entirety of the pool, but it does appear to be a large creature.
Gotcha. Okay, I will bonus action to move my. Well, actually, you tell me, DM. I've had Hunter's Mark on since the start of the tunnel. I know we took a short
Hunter's
rest.
Mark is gone.
Gotcha. Then I will. I mean, would Joe feel like he could throw a javelin from this position?
Not well, but you could.
Does that mean disadvantage?
Indeed, it does. As you're doing a sitting position, like down into a big pool of water, and your back is right up against this wall, it's hard to get your arm all the way back enough to make this. Sure, you've got gravity on your side, but there's no way to get like the full backup that you need to get the huck. Your shoulders don't have enough room to activate.
Okay. Then we'll just go ahead and we'll do a bonus action for Zephyr Strike. At least get me to regular throw. I will go ahead and keep my seated position here. And with Zephyr Strike canceling out the disadvantage, we have got a 13.
A 13 just hits.
Woohoo! Beautiful. I will have Aquila, who I imagine is at the base of this wall at this point, go ahead and add the d6. So we're going to roll a... That is a 6 force, 1 lightning, and 6 piercing. 6 force, 1 lightning, 6 piercing.
Yeah, you throw down your javelin, and with the speed of the fall increased by that own kind of heightening of your senses, even from this seated position, you beam it down, and it strikes through. You can see it hit the bottom and is currently sticking just the very bottom of the shaft of this javelin, breaking the water, and you can see it pierce through. And with Aquila, her kind of lightning spittle, lightning phlegm attaching to it, it paints almost the outline of this far better, and it shakes, and it looks like part of that damage did indeed go through, but more from Aquila's spit and the power behind your Zephyr through than the actual javelin itself. But it does strike true.
Beautiful. And then I'm gonna have I'm just gonna have Aquila stay at the base of the wall and take her dodge action, and so we'll sit pretty here for a second, and that'll be Joe's turn.
Then it is Rordak.
Alrighty. Just to make sure, is Ronak actually down in the pool or near the pool right now, since I was filling up the vase, or where exactly am I starting?
You are so it's 40-foot diameter across for this pool. You are in the bottom right, so equal distance from Jasper as Freddy would be, and that would be. Let me take a real quick look-see. If it's that way, then you would be... If you went around the outside, it would be 5, 10, 15, about 30 feet around to get to Jasper, but if you jumped into the pool and headed for a straight line, it'd probably be closer to like 20 feet. She's getting pulled more and more into the center, farther and farther away. But the center of it is about 20 feet in.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I've got the movement speed, so I will go the long way around the 30 feet to get to Jasper. And I'll put down or drop the vase to whatever I need to do in order to grab the staff.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to put it down.
Yeah, we'll definitely put it down and move on over and take a strike at the the water that is forming around where Jasper is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I described that poorly. She is already in the pool. And she's pulled 10 feet into the center of it. So that would get you to like in front, but you'd need to use the last of your 10 feet of movement to get into the pool to get to Jasper.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, this
Okay.
thing
Well,
is pulling, has grabbed whoever grabbed the water first. It is pulling them into the center of it and trying to drown them.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess it doesn't matter if I go the long way or not. Then, if I'm heading straight for Jasper, I can
Yeah,
do
you've
it
got the
either way.
movement speed for it.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll go ahead and we'll head towards Jasper and try to strike around that area and see if that helps with anything.
Yeah, go ahead and make the attack. You're in it's about 3 feet of water, so it does slow you down, but you've got plenty of movement to break through. So whilst in the pool, it is difficult terrain because it's a whole 3 feet. But with your monk movement speed, you're easily able to make it to Jasper. You just head straight in for it and go for the strike.
17.
That'll hit.
Nice. Dang, another high roll. That's gonna be another 10 bludgeoning on that one. Does it look like that has done anything to this water creature, or am I getting nothing on my end?
You are definitely breaking apart some of these tendrils as they kind of go out. You're breaking them just from the sheer force of putting your solid object through liquid. It doesn't seem to hit as hard as you are hoping for. It's very similar to fighting that other water creature as you're striking it, but this one is holding its form much better. So while you are breaking through tendrils, it's not hitting as hard as you're used to with other creatures.
Okay, gotcha. I will go ahead then and do. I don't know if you would allow this. I'll do the unarmed bonus attack, and can I do it almost like a palm strike going down and kind of like not trying to hit Jasper, but kind of lead it towards her, like almost that she could possibly grab it if she needed to.
Make your strike.
Okay.
Let's see if the dice allow it.
That's a 14.
The dice do allow it. You do hit. So you're able to palm strike towards it, and so you have your hand is close to where Jasper is right now. And she could definitely take it and try to pull herself out of it. So go ahead and roll damage.
Cool. 1 blunt damage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's less of a strike and more of just trying to force your hand. Where the tendrils in this creature's kind of weird watery body is, there's a lot of push back. It's like trying to push against like a strong, like almost torrent of water underneath, but you're able to get your hand through. Less for damage and more of trying to reach out and grab Jasper. But you do have your hand within close proximity to her.
Okay, cool.
All right. Then it is indeed Jasper.
So just for flavor, I imagined when she got pulled into the water and under the water, and got like squeezed that majorly, she like writhed, and you just see like squeezed like a juice box, like just red come out from her mask, like a shit ton of it. And she is going to wildly go make a grab for his hand.
Go ahead and roll, since this is technically to break a grapple, either athletics or acrobatics with advantage.
Oh, thank you. I didn't need the advantage. That's a nat 20.
Yeah, you reach
Nice.
out and wildly reach out for something, some sort of purchase as you're being pulled. It's this horrifying ordeal for you, Jasper, as you're being squeezed. And while it was painful in the first time, as it like reached around your waist and squeezed you while you were above water. Inside the water, as it squeezes, you feel blood, shoot up from your body, and things creak and crack in ways that they're not supposed to. It's worse because as you try to inhale to get some of your air back, it's only water, and you know how shallow it is. Drowning in a shallow pool is a horrifying prospect. So you feel just that crazy adrenaline strength that comes to people who are in mortal danger, and you reach out, grasping for anything, anyone, and there's Rory's hands, who you almost miss it for just a second, but you both grab on. You feel the iron grip of Rory, and Rory, you feel her dig into your hand or your forearm. If it wasn't for your training, she would certainly bruise, if not break that forearm, just from the hysterical strength. And you're able to work together and pull yourself and break the grapple. And Jasper, your head goes above the water, and it's gurgly between the water and your own blood, but you are no longer drowning and you have broken grapple.
She's gonna use her movement to get out of. Well, actually, no, because that'll provoke fucking an attack of opportunity. Jesus. She is. Is her head still underwater?
No, you've broken the surface.
No, yeah. Okay. So she's going to. She lets out a scream of agony and fear and rage, and use her bonus action to get her second wind again. Since we got that short rest. Yeah, if we hadn't taken that short rest, I would have been unconscious before I even did anything.
Kaya, if you wanted to get away, I'm thinking, do you have mobile? I feel like you have mobile.
I do, so
if you action
turn...
surged into an attack, you could do that.
Oh, you're so right. Thank you.
That is
if
correct.
If you really want to get away.
Yeah, I do. So I will... Oh, but that was my...
It was an action to break the grapple, but if you use action surge, you get another action, which would allow you to make an attack. Which would then activate mobile, and you could get out of there.
No, I know. That just means I won't be doing my second wind, which is fine. I am going to do that.
Wait, is
second wind's a bonus action?
A bonus action? I think it's a free action.
Hold on.
Is it?
Let's bring this up correctly.
I believe action surge is free. Yeah, because as a samurai fighter, you need to use your bonus action to activate your main samurai things, and I still got to use action surge a lot.
So
pretty sure it's free.
The exact ruling on that for action surge, on your turn, you can take one additional action on top of your regular action and a possible bonus action. So there's no activating for it. You simply say, I want to activate action surge. You don't use an action or a bonus action to use it.
Silly me, I never realized that. Okay, then...
The second wind does mean you have to use your bonus action for it, so there's the clarification. Right. Go for it.
So she healed Max with her second wind.
Nice.
So then she's going to action surge and make a swing with her axe at the thing.
This will proc sneak attack, but not with advantage, though.
I didn't need the advantage.
Oh no.
That's a nat 20.
Yes!
Oh.
That was 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Her luck's coming back.
There it is. All it takes is near-death experiences, and suddenly Jasper's back. Not so good on the roll, but all said and told, that's 18, 22, 23 slashing.
23 slashing. Yeah, you slash down, and it cuts right through the center of this, and you can see that some of the tendrils, tentacle tendrils, break away from this. It definitely seems to be growing smaller, where it has less tentacles. It is more like trying to keep just the kind of Kuotoa head center of this body together. It's using actually those tendrils to pull itself back together, but it is still devastating regardless.
Not it pulling itself together gives her the window she needs to get the fuck out of there. So she's gonna use her remaining movement to do that. And like get behind Rory, and like
Rory's in the
further
pool
away.
with you. He had to get into the
Right.
pool to
Okay.
get you out.
She's getting out.
Well, you get out the way you came. Since you have 40 feet of movement, yeah, you're able to get back out and get yourself out of this bowl of very hostile water. And stand above it. You've got, I think, since you've got 40 movement speed, you got about 10 feet of movement left.
In that case, she's gonna start skirting around towards the side where the heads are. Still kind of by the edge of the pool, but yeah.
All right, gotcha. After Jasper's turn is Freddy.
Okay. I am going to use my action to take out a little bottle and drink it. It's a bottle that I got back in like our 3rd session or something called Potion of Water Breathing, just in case. So I'm gonna go ahead and drink that. And then I'm going to use my bonus action.
It tastes exactly like fish oil. It's like omega-3, like all the way through.
Yummy.
Alright. Let me use my bonus action as I'm like gagging to to tell Johnny, go to Jove. And I throw him off to Jove to help out.
Yeah. And it heads on over to Jove.
And that's my turn.
All right, then at the bottom is Zanzan. We don't have a lot for this. So Zanzan's gonna pull 3 more hairs, and fire away towards this thing, and just magic missile never misses, man. Okay, not as good. This time it only does 6 points, but it's 6 points of force damage. It's once again this force-empowered Zanzan strands of hair just boom, boom, boom into this. It does 6 points of force damage. And once again, there's that small just second where there's like 3 softball-sized holes in this creature before the water rushes back in and it reforms. However, for a moment, it definitely strikes all the way through this creature. Back at the top, this creature is going to go after who is pulling water out of it, which is still you, Jasper. So, Rory, go ahead and make an attack of opportunity.
Will do. That do hit for 823.
Go ahead and make that strike.
That's 3 blunt damage.
3 blunt damage. Gotcha. Yeah, you see the mass of this body begin to skitter away, and you're able to strike it. Once again, you are definitely hitting this thing, but so much of it just feels like idle water, and you're just plain staff. Just does not seem to be... It's, strangely enough, the staff is not cutting it. So,
looking at myself like all I can do is punch.
Yeah, and Rory, it goes from right next to you, just woof, it is gone. This thing's movement in water is one of the fastest things you've ever seen move. Like, you're pretty sure in water it is definitely faster than you are. As it moves over to strike at you, Jasper. Ooh, close. That's a 15.
Yeah, she's prepared this time and raises her shield to stomp it.
Yeah, and it strikes with an abundance of force. You are almost knocked completely sideways by it. You have to take a step to hold on to it, and you can just feel where it strikes. Like tendrils of it begin to reach out and grip part of the shield, ready to already pull you back into that shallow pool. But you pull back with that kind of weight, taking a step out to steady yourself, and give you the stance you need to pull your shield back, and you are able to stop it from grappling you once more, knowing the devastation that it would bring to you once more. Then it is Jove's turn. However,
comfy.
Inspiration.
I do.
you do notice, Jasper, that it does not appear to leave the pool. It only goes out, shoots its body out enough to grab at you, but the main of it never leaves the pool.
Can she use her reaction to yell for Rory to get out of the pool?
You may use your reaction to yell for Rory to get out of the pool. Rory, you hear Jasper use a reaction to tell you to get out of the pool. Jove.
Jove will yell out, remember the plan, folks. And he is going to he'll go ahead and just sit on his perch. He'll throw another javelin with disadvantage. Okay, that's looking bad. And hey, the same bad. Let's see here. Let me do some math. So 8 d6. I don't think a Bardic Inspiration isn't going to help me there. So for like a 7.
Yeah, a
misses.
7 is not going to do. You throw it and it doesn't even get halfway towards this creature. It lands closer to the center of the pool than anything else. Without the extra oomph of Zephyr Strike, you just can't get that shoulder back far enough to give you the power you need.
And yeah, I'll have Aquila just move 10 feet in front of the wall, and then she'll take the dodge action, and that will be turn.
All right.
You did not
What's
use Bardic, right? You did not
I
use
didn't.
Bardic?
No, I did
Okay.
not.
Saved
So
it.
Sure.
Save it. Save the Johnny. All right. Then it is Rordak.
All right. If I try to get out of the pool, do I have to go by this water monster, or is there any way
I mean,
would possibly?
it's a perfectly circular pool that you are 20 feet into it from one side. So if you went, since Jasper used 10 feet to go around the pool, you could go, literally almost 270 degrees in any direction to get out without going towards this creature. So yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's large, but not so large that it takes up the entirety of the pool.
Yeah, that makes sense then. I then we'll say I go. We'll say about like 90 degrees then,
Yeah.
from where Jasper did. Like not in the full opposite direction, like still kind of near the party, but we'll head out that way. And as I'm doing that too, Rory will go ahead and he'll throw his staff around his back, and I'll actually pull out the dagger that I believe I got from the last time we dealt with the water cult that doesn't have disadvantage while you're in water. So he'll pull that out and hold that on himself as he's making his way out of the pool.
Yeah, you're able to get out to the lip of the pool, get out of it. You're about 15 feet. So yeah, you, just like Jasper, since you both have 40 feet of movement, have 10 feet of movement.
Nice.
Then you could use 10 feet to basically get to Jasper.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So let's go ahead and do actually go ahead and do that. And then
You are in striking distance of this creature.
nice. We're gonna stab it with the dagger then.
Yep, go for it. Stab it.
That's a nat 20.
Ooh, go ahead and add Aquila's D6 to that.
Yeah, buddy.
As she strikes you in the back and you feel that electricity run through you.
Love it, love it, love it. So with the roll plus the modifier, that is so altogether that's gonna be 19 damage. So that's gonna be 9 of that is Aquila. I believe that's lightning, right? Or is it thunder? Yeah,
It's
so
lightning.
9. Yeah, so 9 lightning, and then the other 10 is blunt. Or that would actually be piercing in this one.
How do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's just him just taking note, like you said, like it's not purchasing with it, and like you need a good cut or like a good pierce with it, and like he's almost starting to form like almost a little bit of like an understanding of Aquila and like how the strikes work, and it's just finding that right time, like the right wave and like the motion of the water as it's moving and matching that, almost like threading the needle and matching that with the lightning of Aquila as it strikes, like almost like a little bit Tanjiro style, just like finding it and then just following through right with this clean cut.
Yeah, you go for the strike, and you're looking for that kind of opening thread. In Aquila, you can see her raise her head up, and you match eyes, and there's a for a second just that kind of understanding between you and Aquila as she lets loose that electrical phlegm, and instead of diving down and catching it and like trying to make almost like a sandwich of Aquila's phlegm and your blade, you instead let it hit your blade and carry you backwards. That acceleration of speed, getting you to that really fast, almost like full turn, just like Tanjiro does when he's using the breath of fire. And you make that perfect 100, like 360-degree spin, faster than you could by yourself, using Aquila's acceleration on top of your body's natural movement. And you strike through with the piercing, and it's almost like the phlegm itself spirals out like a web, and you just cut all the way through it. It just, and you see almost in perfect like little cubes for just a second across the water's edge before once again there's another, and all the water falls back into the pool, and the pool once again becomes serene and silent. We are out of initiative.
Beautiful.
There is that you feel like your entire body is buzzing, Rory. I mean, it's like being on a massage chair, but from the point of the dagger. Like it is almost hard to get your muscles to stop tensing to put the dagger down. That's how fast this hits you. And the rest of you all see this, and Rory moves too fast for most of your eyes to catch. Like it's really just like a flash of like the orange phlegm that is the only thing that's able to watch how fast he spun through that move.
Yeah, I can definitely see Rory's muscles just basically locked in place for a moment.
It's almost that ripple effect when really jack dudes do like the titty dance, but they can flex all the strands, except your body is just firing off at incredibly fast speeds. It's almost painful, like a Charlie horse. So you have to hold and tighten and wait for the muscles to let go due to exertion before you're finally able to sheath the blade and get your hand to let go.
The only reason Rory is still holding the dagger is because he can't actually like let it go. He's so like
Lockjaw.
literally, yeah.
Um, Jasper's breathing is incredibly labored as she stows her axe, and she like just walks away from like the pool entirely and away from the party for a second. Um, Out of curiosity, did the one body of the cultist that didn't get transformed into a monster get washed into this room?
Oh, well, there's the troglodyte body, and then there's that other body
Right.
that you talked about. It's a number of feet in, but definitely not in the pool or anything. But you can go over to it.
Yeah, he remembered to take one of these necklaces, so she's gonna pull his off of him.
It is not the same as some of the other necklaces that you have seen, with that symbol that you now recognize immediately as Alahydra. This is more of kind of like a square cut aquamarine to it.
Mm.
It seems similar. However, having both of them, you can see that the one that you received from your time at Fort Dalton is clearly higher quality than the one there. Just the craftsmanship of it, the look of it. This one is almost just like a rough aquamarine rock tied up with some
Mm.
leather and such.
Okay. Well, she'll hold on to it anyway. Yeah, so she's doing that.
Absolutely, and you hear Zanza call out, "Hey man, everybody all right? Everybody cool?"
Yeah, it seemed to go pretty well, all things considered. Good job, everybody.
Yeah,
Jasper, while sitting away, like pulls up her mask past her mouth and spits out a mouthful of blood.
Hey Rory, that was some real cool stuff, man. How do you get your body to spin so fast?
normally I don't. That was a little bit of help from our Aquila friend over there. Seems like I'm sort of making friends actually with some of the companions around here. Huh.
I
Is he-
imagine Aquila kind of whips her almost like beaver-like tail, and she kind of stands up, not like stands up, but like bares her breast and like stands tall as she kind of looks over to you and maybe gives you a little bit of a nod.
Ronak would just give a nod right back. Knows better than to say more than that to Aquila.
Well, all right, mans. Do you think there's another one in there, or do we get back to it?
I don't know, Zanzan, why don't you give it a shot?
All right, man. Yeah, I got stuff for this. Let me give it a shot. So he goes over, he grabs the vase that you put down, Rory, and you could see he kind of hesitates for a second at the lip, dunks it on down. He's got his spell book like unclaps, ready to go at just a moment's notice. Pulls the water out. No reaction from the pool. Yeah, man, I got it. Comes, brings it on over, lifts it up to you, Jove.
Alrighty, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this down. So keep yourself prepared just in case there's, I don't know, this
Be
wall crumbles or something.
prepared.
Dun dun dun
Real,
dun dun
real
dun
quick,
dun dun.
during that, as we're getting prepared, Ronak will actually walk over to Jasper, um, while you're over to the side, and will hand you one of the greater healing potions and just say, "I'd honestly feel better if you had one."
I'd have to say I'd feel better too. And she takes it and like swigs it. Um, yeah. How much is that?
Since
20?
yeah, it is. It's 20 HP. It is fiery. It is like drinking isopropyl alcohol and cough syrup. It is an unpleasant experience, to say the least.
It is a
However,
Saturday night.
it is a whole Saturday night. However, uh, you can feel it's an awful sensation. It feels like someone took like a balloon and inflated it, and you feel everything kind of pop where it's supposed to be. It's like watching somebody get chiropractically adjusted, where it's like, and it hurts and it's weird, but then afterwards, you have to kind of cough as part of your lungs re-expand and the damage is repaired. It was a painful experience before, during, and afterwards, but now you're feeling pretty right.
She hands him back the vial and puts a hand on his shoulder. Thank you for coming in after me.
Hey, I wasn't gonna let that thing take you out of there. Well,
I think you're the only person I've ever met in my life that would feel that way. So thank you.
well, you've saved my sorry self multiple times, as well as everyone else here, so a mercy given, a mercy repaid. Look at it that way.
And before she lets go of his shoulder, she pulls him in close and whispers, I think before the end of this, you and I are gonna need to take that book away from him. Remember,
Rornak.
Roll.
Yeah. Rornak will just kind of give you a look and will try to say low. I'll keep my eye out.
With that, they'll walk back together.
Yeah. During this, so Jove, you pour the water into this, and you see the light blue glow of it go, and it pools in from the vase, and after you pour all of it out, it ends just perfectly on top of the funnel and just sits there. Not moving, you don't sense any changes, but one whole vase fills an entirety of this kind of funnel into it.
All right, folks, think we need 2 more of those. And Jove will start to move over to the second head.
Hey man,
Jasper
who's got
will
the second
pull it.
one?
Jasper will.
Sure thing, you go and you grab that vase, tensing up as you pulled out of the water, half expecting another one of these tendrils to go out, and one drop of water kind of hits a little heavier, and you feel your body almost kind of flinch for a second. But there's
she definitely flinches.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear the drop and see Jasper flinch, but the water continues after the ripple goes through, continues to stay calm. You head on over to the wall and hand the vase over to Zanzan, and Jove, would you make me a quick athletics check as you move from one head all the way to the other?
And also, Jove, you if you use your bardic on ability checks, you basically get the benefits of advantage because of my special class, my bard college.
So do I roll it out?
It says if you choose to use the bardic inspiration on an ability check, you roll the bardic inspiration die again, and you'd pick which roll to use. Sorry,
I
not
see, so
advantage
that-
on the roll, advantage on the bardic inspiration die.
Gotcha. That's really cool. Okay, good to know. And does that last only a minute?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So
okay.
if we think that another combat might be coming, you might want to save it for that. But if you fall off the heads, maybe.
Yeah. That's a
Maybe if
good
you roll
idea.
really low, maybe you want to spend that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, Jove, what's the athletics roll?
I'm looking at a 12 athletics.
A 12. It's a bit difficult. You know, it's too far away for you just to make the jump. So you kind of spider shimmy across. And there's a couple places where you can tell that the wall where you've poured the funnel in is starting to soften. And there's a part where you almost slip, and there's the sound of kind of mud hitting the ground underneath. It gets on Zanzan. He's like, "Hey, man!" As you see him make the signs for prestidigitation, and the mud slide continues to slide right on off. But you are able to make it to the next head.
He does like Naruto hand signs now.
Yeah. Just as a quick, what is it like? I forget. They're all named after the Chinese zodiac, or whatever it is. Whatever. Anyways, you get to the fucking Kuatoa head. Zanzan takes the vase from you. Jasper and holds it above his tall head, and Jove, you're able to grab it and pour another one in. Same exact situation. Can I get that last athletics check as you move to the final head? And then who's got the last vase? I believe that's Freddy.
Yeah, I believe I do.
I am gonna use that bardic inspo because I rolled kind of
Roll
low.
twice, pick your choice.
Oh god. Okay, so that puts me up at 8. That's another. Actually, that's 13.
That's 13. Once again, that same sensation of it getting softer and softer. This time you're more ready for it, and you're able to shimmy your way across to the final Kuatoa head.
I'd back up, folks. This wall is starting to get a little soft. It might start running once I put this last one in there.
And as he like starts to feel the soft mud, Johnny just like kind of hops down and just kind of like Ratatouille pushes him back up, even though he's just like pushing his shin.
I love
Just kind of holds him up.
Johnny almost is the platform of which Jove is standing on in one area. There's a small kind of squeak as this goes on.
And you squish him and he's gone.
And then can Tensor's floating disc raise that vase up, Freddy?
And that's what I was reading earlier. It cannot, so they have to do the pass up. I can only get it 3 feet high.
Okay, yeah. So yes.
Before this continues, in Jasper's observation of Zanzan, when he uses his spell book, does there seem to be something attaching it to him, or is it kind of just a normal book?
Roll Arcana.
Okay. Yeah, with an Arcana, that's only 11.
11? You haven't seen anything attaching it to him. He's got a wizard's holster, which isn't uncommon. You've seen plenty of those from different cloaks. Heck, even Freddy has his own spellbook holster. But you don't see any tethers or lines to it. So it doesn't seem to be attached to him.
He's gonna look at Rory, and as like Zanzan is putting his hands on the vase to lift it, she's gonna get pretty close to him and see if she can't that's all. She's gonna just stand very close to him.
Yeah, so Zanzan, doesn't seem to be paying much attention as you get close. You're just watching him. You're on his spellbook side, and Jove, he hands up the final vase to you. Here you go, man.
And right when Joe's hands get a firm grip, Jasper's gonna make a grab for the spellbook.
Make a sleight of hand check, followed immediately by a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Jasper, do you make it evident to anybody else that you're doing this?
Also,
looked at
Jove, make
Rory
me a
and
dexterity
moved it.
saving throw. And let's see. In fact, actually, I need the whole party to make a dexterity saving throw. Jove, you with
Oh.
disadvantage.
Great.
Gotcha. I did
So-
warn everybody, so.
Yeah, you with disadvantage because you're sitting on top of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
So for sleight of hand, that is a 15.
a 15 rolled against Zanzan's sleight of hand. Okay. And what's everybody's dexterity saving throw?
22.
16.
Disadvantage gave me 7, and Aquila got 21.
12 on the dex save. All right, so everybody who rolled 12 or below, which I believe is just Jove and Freddy this time around.
Yay.
As you pour the last in, Jasper, as you get a hand on top of this spell book, it immediately Zanzan nearly as it's held up and he's got both his hands, he nearly drops the vase as you feel him grasp your arm as you put a hand on the spell book. As he turns, hey man, what the wall, it's not the wall that loses its structure. It is suddenly there's a large as each of the heads of these breathe out, and it's like a cone of bubbles made out of this blue, like light blue. Is it almost like Bubble Beam from Squirtle, but it shoots out each one in this huge cone that goes across the room. For those of you who passed, you're going to take half. For those of you who failed, you're going to take full. And that is, failure is 8 points of acid damage, and success is 4 points of acid damage. Jove, it just gets you right on the legs. Because there's like nowhere to go from it. So you all take that acid damage, and you all kind of recoil as it, you're able to kind of jump out of way to avoid the worst of the acid. Jasper, you have to jump back and let go of the book. And Zanzan does the same thing as he jumps back. You know, Freddy, you're the only one that you're focusing on Tensor's floating disc and feeling pretty clever about it before a bubble just pops right in your face. You could feel the worst facial peel you've ever had. Job, the same thing for your legs. You can feel as the backs of your legs feel that same kind of acid burn. The rest of you are able to dodge out of the way, but it's just so many of these kind of bubbles out. And then as that, then Jove, I need you to make another dexterity saving throw. As the kind of wall of this really does become more like a mud and shifts and slides down. The heads of the Kuotoa tumble along with you. As you can see, all the mud falls and falls until it lands into the pool and covers what was the once glowing blue water is now filled completely with mud. It's almost as if the wall has moved from being a wall to now being like a lid over the pool.
I got a 21.
A 21? Yeah, you're able to... you remember the last time you were sliding down a mud-like chute. An uvulate at Fort Iron, perhaps. And this time, you're not going to get got that way. So even though your legs are slightly have some acid burns to it, you're able to slide on down. And by the time all the sliding is over, Jove is like right in the center of this kind of, this now capped pool of water. Now, the only light in here now is from Jasper's pants. And immediately Zanzan goes, "Hey, that's not cool, man. You don't just touch an Arcanist spellbook, man. I don't touch your blades. Don't touch my book."
Apologies.
Go ahead. Roll a deception check.
Okay. Say 14.
14. Alright, man, not a big deal. Just like, if you want to learn about the art, I'll tell you about the art. Just like, please, man, like, don't touch my spell book. It's like the only thing I really have that's really mine, so don't touch it again. And there's a certain sharpness underneath the breath from that one. The first time that it's less of that kind of, hey, more of a, don't touch my book. A seriousness, a stiffness that you haven't seen in Zanzan, besides maybe just barely breaking through towards his former party. But it's not just noticeable for you, Jasper, but everybody kind of hears that. Interpret that as you will, but it is very sharp. Don't touch my book. However, in that kind of space that once was a wall is now a large vaulted archway that leads into another dark sort of, not even a tunnel, but another large circular chamber that you guys can see off kind of the glow of Jasper's pants. It's even from here that you can tell that it's a even bigger room than this one. The ceiling's even higher, probably getting closer to 40 feet high, maybe even 50. And even from the bare light, you can see that there seems to be inscriptions that decorate the wall, a language almost even. I've got something to show you guys. Hold on, give me a second. Let me pull it up. I have a map. Ooh, my mistake on this one. It doesn't have the inscriptions on it. It does appear to be that same kind of archway that continues for another 10-15 feet. And just at the end of your light, you see another kind of pool of water. This one, however, only being 5 feet in diameter. My mistake. Map comes later.
Well,
Looks only ways forward.
this was your tomb to explore, Zanzan. Why don't you go first?
You said there was no inscriptions.
Not in this area. Sorry, that
Okay.
was my mistake.
I will be
Yeah,
keeping an eye out for any inscriptions we can find.
sure
Because I
thing.
have that handy dandy comprehend languages that I can whip out whenever.
Yeah. So Zanzan kind of looks back at you. Sure, man. And goes up to kind of this pool of water. He takes out his spell book and touches kind of the torque around his neck, which glows with kind of an orangish, reddish yellow light from it, illuminating. You can see that there's a very short hallway leading to this pool with another just massive kind of stone wall at the end of it. Doesn't seem to lead anywhere. There's no inscriptions. It's missing any decorative features. There's not even vases or other parts. It looks almost completely blank. You see Zanzan reaches into his pack and pulls out kind of a casing and puts his spell book inside said casing and claps it shut, creating what looks like to be kind of a water seal to it, and looks to you guys and drops into the pool of water. A couple seconds go by. 12 seconds go by. 30 seconds go by. A minute.
Hey, should he be down there that long? Sorry, I get worried. Jove will start moving forward.
Should one of us take a look for a second?
Rory, why don't you and I go together?
Yeah. I can't swim for too long, but can take a dip and see what we find.
I
Well,
drank
I'll
some
go
fish
up to
oil.
the hole.
I drank some fish oil a little earlier that we know apparently lets me breathe underwater if we need to do that.
And you do it.
Well, okay, I was just saying.
A good idea, Freddy.
Speak up!
So, Freddy,
Well,
you go to
go.
the lip of this water, and looking down, you don't see any lights like orange or yellow. It's, besides the light from Jasper's pants, completely dark down this body of water.
I'll recast light on my. I'll use the staff of charming, and I'll just hold that out in front of me as I swim.
Absolutely, you dive down into this. It's deeper than you may have hoped or anticipated for. You swim down 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet. It's a strange sensation too, breathing in water. There's that part of you, there's that hesitation at first to inhale. But as you do, it's strange because it does feel like breathing air in and out. However, there's no like bubbles or any of the other features that you would have when you were typically like, if you were to like release your breath underwater. It just, you feel the sensation of movement in your lungs in and out, and you are definitely breathing, but the rest of you is very much still in water. It's like every single part of you is in water except your lungs, which are almost like its own little pocket of air. It's a fascinating experience, one that you haven't had before. In any other circumstances, this would actually be pretty neat. However, circumstances notwithstanding, it seems a little less neat. But you swim down to about 40 feet, and then you see that it's like a U that goes down. You go 5 feet forward, and it appears to be going upwards. You continue.
Right, I keep going.
Yeah, Yeah, would you like to continue on?
Yeah.
You go underneath and swim upwards, and it's another kind of 40 feet or so before your head breaks the water. And that it's strange having now you know you're breathing air, but it doesn't feel like it doesn't it's such a strange sensation to now switch between water to air and it feel completely the same in your lungs. But the room is lit up with an orange yellow glow, and there's Zanzan who hears you, turns around, and offers you a hand. Hey man, nice dive. Let me help you up, man.
Yeah, we were just getting worried about you, and I'll take his hand and get up.
Oh yeah, man, that makes sense, but look. And then now it is that large circular chamber, the domed ceiling being 40 feet high. Now you see the inscriptions decorating kind of these really smooth walls, which are made of a polished green stone. However, this is, instead of being, slightly kind of covered in different stuff. I mean, the Voss reliefs could definitely use a touch up and a wipe down. This place is covered in almost kind of this sticky ooze that covers the walls, and it seems to be going up. The humidity in here is way higher than the rest, and it's already been incredibly humid. Everything kind of sticks and holds onto you more. There's a sort of dirtiness to this area that is unlike the rest of the tomb beforehand. Looking out, since you both are illuminating light, you can see that there is a much larger body of water heading out towards what you can see with just kind of the bare bits of your dim light appears to be a small island in the center of it. Give me a perception check real quick.
7, so my passive is at 11.
An 11, yeah, you can see that something's leading out there. You're not sure what, but turning around, just looking at the inscriptions on the wall, some of it covered too much to be read because of kind of this ooze-like stickiness just covering vast amounts. And you can see some of these inscriptions seem to be going all the way up towards the top of the dome ceiling. You do see in 7 little like niches of the wall, niches, whatever you pronounce it, are small, medium-sized skeletons. Each one seems to almost be like ooze stuck into their little niche. Each holding what appears to be a large. It's like someone killed a large crab and then stuck its claw or its pincer right at the top of the spear. Clearly, these things have been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. There's no flesh or anything left on them. The bones don't even look like they attach all the way together in some places, but the ooze of this place is holding them upright. And you count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on kind of the back half of this wall away from the body of water. Now I'm gonna put up the map. Now I'm gonna do it. Now is the time.
I'm gonna ask Zan if he can read the language.
Hold on just a second. There we go.
Hey Zan, can you read that?
Huh. Well, man, I can read some of it. Like
What language is it?
this here. Oh, that's definitely some primordial. I think it's Aquan. That, however, I got no idea what that says. And you can see, like, some of it is really wavy kind of language. It's not dissimilar to some of like the Ingen you saw, Freddy, in the chapter house of the Eternal Flame. But then there are other parts that are smaller, more scrawled. They less look like design as almost graffiti in nature. They're not carved in of this green stone. It's almost like nice and fine. They're almost like scratched in strange places.
Does your fancy trick to make your clothes clean, can that clean off the goo from some of this writing? If that could help us read it any?
It's a good question, man. I've never tried it on a wall. Let me give it a shot. And he's gonna try to cast prestidigitation on it. I'm gonna have him make a spell roll to see how well he does. He opens his book, gets it out of it's already out of his case, has it in hand, and does a couple hand motions, and just enough of it kind of slides off. It's really slow. It's almost like a slug going down the wall, just before it hits kind of the bottom of it. Yeah, man, I could do some of it. However, I gotta say, this only reaches out about 10 feet, so some of that stuff, and he points to some of the, inscriptions on the higher parts. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to reach up to that, but there's something you really want clean, man. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, just get as much as you can at this at the lower level, like you said, 10 feet, just so we can read as much as we can. And fair
man.
warning that my friends are probably going to be coming here in a few minutes. They're probably going to worry about me just like you. I don't know how they're going to get around the whole breathing thing, but they're definitely going to be coming.
Hey, real quick, man, just between us. Yo, that Jasper. What's their deal? Listen, I know when someone's trying to take my spell book, and I don't want to make it a big deal, man, but that's not nice, man. It's not nice. You understand. I mean, you got a spell book. Goes against the art, man.
I wish I could speak for her, but I have no idea what's going through her brain. It's not even like she'd want to steal it for her own doing, because she's let's just say I know for sure she's not the magical type.
Nah, not even a little bit. She doesn't seem like she's got I think that she's used to using hitting stuff more than thinking it through. No offense, but I've met smarter types, man.
Yeah, I guess a little correspondence is in order, telling her about the do's and don'ts about messing with the magic folk and their magical things.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, if she touches my book again, then I'm gonna send one of these hairs straight through her chest. It's my one focal point. I made it clear, but I like you, man. You're real funny. You're a fellow caster. I got your back, just, don't let her hit me too hard.
I'll try not to let her hit you too hard.
Thanks, man. Alright, I'll start cleaning off this stuff. Go get your friends.
Alright. Well, I'm not going to get my friends. I'm going to use my staff with the light on it. And just kind of like move it back and forth like I'm trying to light the text, but I'm actually doing motions to cast comprehend languages so I can read it.
Yeah, the rest of you, since I assume you're casting this as a ritual. No, it's comprehend languages through the staff, correct?
Staff of Charming, yep.
Alright, so it goes off. The rest of you guys, it's been probably a minute and a half as you begin to read it, so we'll flip over to you guys. Freddy's been underneath there, minute, 2 minutes. Zan's been underneath there, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Neither one of them has come back.
In like 1 or 2 minutes, and Jasper's gonna turn to the other two and be like, "You two know I only made a deal with him in the first place because I wanted to get a jump on all of them, right? Like, we got here so quickly and didn't have to waltz through the sewers for days because we made a deal. Revenge. Am I the only one who still remembers this?
Oh, I remember our friend Law. Yeah, yeah. Revenge was part of it. Now, I don't know if we have all the information yet, but I feel like we also kind of made a deal with this person. I don't know how I feel about just stabbing them in the back if they're completely, I don't know, out of the way.
Do you think he's with the cult? Honestly,
I have no fucking idea. All I know is their leader mysteriously died, and yet a whole group of them were still alive. And I don't know. He
Law
he
talked
was
about.
upfront about having a silver tongue, and I don't know. You heard the way he spoke to me. He also said that that book is one of the only things he has in his life. We're about to let have a desperate man have some funked up wand that's supposed to boost magic power. That all sounds cool with you guys?
I will admit I do have questions about who it is he says that he's indebted to and how he really got here to this place. If you want to question him, I might actually be able to do something about getting that spell book off of him, but we need to distract him. However, as he looks down into the water and motions to that, I'm not too sure what's going on right now at this point.
We do need to
Yeah,
jump
I mean,
down there. We do definitely need to go after them, but I just want to remind everybody that what we saw from Law was, and what we heard was Zula, her lover, was killed by crossbow bolts. I don't know, our tall friend, I haven't seen him touch any sort of crossbow. She was saying words of master and things like that. Certainly nobody was calling him master. Now, you're right, Jasper. He's got a silver tongue, though. Remember, you did sit down and pretty much say that we were going to fight him to the death in the camp. So I have a feeling that's why he's a little bit raw towards you. So I think we just need to play it cool, see how this plays out, and if this guy does get a big old wand, then that's swinging out spells. I feel confident in our 4-on-1 on getting him down. Now, I just think we could end up making an enemy real quick by trying to swap something. And I don't know. I heard it in his voice when back there. I don't think you get a second chance to fuck up taking away the codex of his. So you know,
well,
if he's
I mean, there's a reason I went for the book and didn't dig my axe into his spine. I am
he,
also curious as to who he's indebted to and what he actually wants. But I can't seem to get a fucking straight answer from him because he's so fucking slick with his magic book. He can just poof into mist and reappear somewhere else. I'm just saying, if we want to know what's happening here and don't want to just walk away with some gold and maybe give an incredibly powerful object to someone who's been working with one of the cults who wants to summon an Archamental, but that's just me. And she sits down grumpily.
well, I think we need some evidence first. Uh, we I have there's nothing that off of his character that seems to imply that he's with a cult besides just having a silver tongue and being in a shitty place like this. Like I said, maybe we give somebody a powerful wand and they turn out to be a great ally and help us stop something in the future. So
Mhm.
you know, let's just keep that in mind before we all act hastily and end up in a worse way than we could be otherwise. Now, I'm not
Rornak,
saying that he's, Peach Keenan. I trust him 100%, Jasper. I want to level with you. My hand is ready to go if need be, but I don't know. I think poking a bear and looking for a fight could be bad for all of us.
Rornak will actually raise the mask for a second and put his hand on his chin and kind of like put his staff to the ground as he's kind of thinking over it. and say, I won't harm him until we know more, but I do think there is something to what Jasper is saying, in that if we are to approach him, perhaps disarming him is not such a bad idea. I know we feel good about the 4-on-1, and I trust this party too, but maybe the best way to avoid arms is to make sure there are no arms when the time comes.
You can think that way, but if somebody came and took javelins off my back and say, "Hey, I'm just wanting to talk," that ain't gonna fly with me. But
Well, in that scenario, you don't have the arms anymore, so maybe your option is to talk.
still got these two arms, and he's gonna flex.
Jasper
Make me a performance
genuinely
check.
laughs at that.
I will. Oh, 17.
Boy's not lying. Some
Got the dick.
nice ass arms on that halfling.
You know,
Well.
I really like you guys. I hope your good nature doesn't bite us in the ass one day.
Likewise.
Alright. Rory, it doesn't seem like he's coming back. Do you want to make a dive and see what's what?
Sure, I'll take a shot at it. Wish me the best of luck. And I think Rornak, to make it easier probably, like he'll take off the mask and put it into the pack as he jumps in to go for the swim. I imagine that would just make it easier to see and move around.
Yeah, most definitely.
Alrighty. Rornak will go ahead and jump in and see what in the world he can actually see inside the water.
Since you don't have a light source, nothing. It's completely dark. You can follow along from the sides. You can feel your way through, but as far as sight, since you don't have dark vision and there's no light in there, it is a dark, who knows how deep, 5 foot in diameter, so rather narrow tunnel.
Rornak will try to feel around the walls and follow it. I say he would give himself a minute at most, and if he can't follow it the whole way through by then, he's heading back. Or heading back in the direction he came.
It takes you the equivalent of about 4 rounds, going straight down, feeling almost like climbing downwards, gripping the sides of this, just feeling your way through before you hit the bottom and you feel it begin to curve in that U shape that I've described. What's your constitution?
My constitution is at it's 14, so I got
14?
a +2 modifier. Yeah.
Yep. You're feeling that, you're holding strong to your breath. You're not panicking yet, but you also know that you're not the strongest swimmer and your time underwater is limited. But you do feel that kind of you, probably about 4 rounds in.
Gotcha. Ronak will go ahead and he will surface back where where Jove and Jasper are.
So Rory goes down, and probably about 30 seconds, 45 seconds later, his head breaches the water.
Okay. Well, I can't see anything down there. It's as dark as sin, but I tried feeling my way around, and it seems like, at least on the floor, I don't know how deep it is, it seems like there's kind of a curve to it. My guess is if they went somewhere, it's there. I could keep going, but I needed to come up and just get some air. Play it safe.
Akila was saying that she could, see in the dark. Akila, how do you feel about swimming?
She just kind of shrugs at you. Almost laissez-fairness to it. I have done worse. I have done better. Swimming is easy.
Well, she says swimming's easy, and if she can see in the dark, maybe having somebody as a bit of a guide if we want to, I don't know, all go down together. I mean, how tight is that space, Rornak? Are we going down into a tube or what?
Would Rornak have even been able to really tell how wide it is, or just know that there's the curve?
Definitely no more than one person at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty narrow. It's going to be about one person at a time, so we're going to be going single file if we're swimming down there at the same time.
This is my actual nightmare. Swimming underwater, under caves. Ugh, ugh. But yes,
Yeah, no, I hate this.
yeah. Well then, maybe Aquila can take the lead, and we can kind of ferry ourselves down there. It's not like we're gonna have to worry about visibility and kicking shit up, since it's gonna be dark anyways. I don't know, Aquila. You could just. I mean, there's the old rope trick, but that could get bad. I think we might just have to kick push down in there.
Be brave. It will make you stronger. As Aquila heads to kind of the front of it, Rory, you're still kind of bobbing in the water. She looks at you and kind of, Aquila pulls her head to kind of the side in a motion for you to move.
Rornak will swim over to like the side walls and give her some room to jump in.
Aquila jumps in and whew, is gone. Freddie, you've been on here for a couple more minutes. Zanzan's cleared a lot of kind of like the surface level stuff. You can't get full parts of it, but you've been reading, and it's definitely the magic helps you understand the words of it, but a lot of it is absolute fucking nonsense. Sentences that don't lead anywhere, words that you're pretty sure don't actually mean anything. However,
This is like academic text.
yeah, it's like it's like a history book, except it's like it's not even in. You're like, I get there's language arts being shown, but like this is gobbledygook. This is nonsense. This doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would you write it this way? However, there are a few things that kind of stick out to you, and it's names. Two, to be exact. One that you, as soon as you see it, kind of you feel the kind of the clutch of your chest tighten, and it is indeed Alahydra. However, there's another name as well. Bwimb. Bwimb. Go ahead and roll me a religion check.
Wimb.
Bwimb. A bwimba what? A bwimba what? A bwimba what? A bwimba what?
Is this at all related to history in Mulmmaster?
It is not.
Okay. Then that is I rolled a 1 for a 3.
One for a 3. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of bwim in there. It's very similar to the Chapter House of Eternal Flame, and just the big carved in smooth parts, all Hydra, but the little parts that are all scribbled in always either start or end with Bwim. And the places where the ooze is the heaviest, there's always the name of Bwim. What does it mean? Fucking no clue. But have you seen it a lot? Hell yeah. As this is going through, as a minute, 2 minute, as Zan's just clearing away, having to keep clearing himself as bits of ooze stick to his clothing, you hear the sound of water being breached in kind of a draconic kind of. As you see, you look over towards the noise, and there's Aquila, who gets out of the water and, like, with a big kind of flick of her beaver-like tail, kind of stands up, flicks, and her whole body lifts just a bit off the ground, and the water drops off of her. And she looks to you. As in Freddy.
Yep. I mean, I'm just gonna keep reading.
She looks over to Zan. Hey, little draconic man. She kind of looks immediately away in disinterest and jumps back down into the water. And then, probably minute and a half after she goes back down, Aquila pops back up, and Jovi here. There.
Yeah, well, Aquila says they're there, so at least that's a good sign. I guess we just have to go through it.
Swim like this, and she takes her tail and dips it into the water and like drags it in a big U shape on the ground.
I think she's trying to say that yeah, Rornak, that kind of bottom out that you found is kind of like a U shape. So I think we just need to swim down to that and then just kind of rise through the other side, and we'll be in the right spot.
Well then, as long as she provides the light, then I say we go for it.
Before you go, why don't you stick close to Zanzan? He's not gonna trust me within 5 feet of him anymore. Both of you, honestly.
I'll keep my eyes peeled.
I'll stay close by. I promise.
Thank you.
So, who's
Alrighty.
going in first?
Well, I absolutely hate all of this, so I just want to get it all over with. So, don't see you on the other side. Tell my gaffer I love him, and he'll just plop right in.
Joe, your constitution scores is 16, correct?
Indeed.
Yeah, you go through. Aquila following in after Jove. You start kind of pulling yourself down, like reverse climbing in a descent. And it is quite literally your worst nightmare. It's completely dark in here. The sides are rough. You have no idea how far you've gone. It feels so daunting compared to your body. And you just have to keep holding your breath. You've spent some time in water before. You're not afraid of swimming. It's the diving part that you don't like. And you know for a fact there are things that lurk beneath the waves. You get to kind of that bottom after what feels like forever, and there's that moment that you almost kind of panic as there's a part that's a little wider and you can't quite reach the sides, and you begin to panic because you can't see or orient yourself. You feel that kind of claustrophobia. It's almost like that madness of Agrimark grips you once again. Just the sheer despair of being this far underneath the ground, in water, in a relatively small space. However, you feel a rather painful bite on the hand as Aquila bites and begins swimming and kind of underwater tugboats you and pulls you through the kind of sideways part. And by the time you are reoriented and swimming upright, she lets go, and you instinctively just kind of grab her beaver-like tail as she kind of pulls you along. And after what is probably one of the more horrifying minutes to a minute and a half of Jove's life, you breach the surface into the gold, orange, and red light of Freddy and Zanzan, just in total academic mode. Just cleaning stuff off, looking at these incantations, not hardly even notice you and Aquila as you break the surface.
Jove is real dramatic about it when he breaks. He's oh god damn, fuck that, and he'll scurry up and try and get to whatever piece of land that he can stand on.
It is. You get on there, and immediately it's not what one would call dry. It's incredibly sticky. Like you, and you go to stand yourself out, and there's like long strands of this kind of strange ooze material as it breaks apart as you stand all the way up. You're not essentially dry. You're wet and sticky.
Van, want to hit me with that water be gone stuff that you can do, the little poofy magic thing?
Hey, yeah, man, yeah. And with book in hand, and a couple of quick hand movements, you feel the water and the ooze off you fall to the ground. Hey, does your little scaly friend want the same treatment?
Jove will kind of look to Aquila for her response. I'm being wet.
She once again kind of gets up on the two back legs, then flicks off with her beaver-like tail, and all the water just gets off. She, no.
Yeah, she's got it. Appreciate it though.
Jove, you've made it safely to the other side, and see Freddy just, and that weirdly academic look that he has as he's got his staff of charming and he's looking at these incantations. You see, the same kind of scene that I described. You are on the left side if we're looking at the map. To the outer vault. That is the pool where you guys are arising from. Imagine that. So, Joe,
Hey, yo.
yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say, hey Freddie, yeah, the whole waterway is pretty dang dark. I know you're deep in doing whatever you're studying, but maybe we throw down a rock or something down with that light on it, just so the other folks know where they're going a little bit better.
Yeah, I turn off the light on my staff to see if it's still lit enough in here for me to read.
You'll have to stick closer to Zanzan now, and kind of follow through, but you've kind of caught up. You're only probably 10 feet away from him as you're going around kind of this outer wall before it hits the water. So, yeah, with the light from Zanzan, you've got enough to keep looking.
Yeah. So I just tell me and Jove will look for a decent sized rock so we can move it over and drop it in.
Yeah, you find
Actually,
towards
with my floating disc, maybe we can get a big rock.
yeah, not towards kind of the niches with these Kuatoa ooze covered skeletons. Instead, almost like a shoreline, like almost like a small moon sea inside this vault. It's strange because the water does kind of move on its own, but it's not like waves as you imagined. It's almost like the entirety of the body of water moves forward and back. It's odd, to say the least. It's strange because there shouldn't be any movement in this water here. But towards it, you do find a solid size, maybe grapefruit sized stone of maker model, perhaps fallen from the roof or left here from a bygone era, and you're able to get that lit rock.
Is lit.
It's lit. And you drop it down with light attached to it into the water tunnel, and it Jasper and Rory on your side, about a minute and a half after Rory and Jove, not Rory and Jove, Aquila and Jove have entered into the tunnel. Suddenly it lights up from the bottom, and there's a kind of a golden light that just stays, and it illuminates the whole thing. It's dim light by the time it reaches you guys, but you can see at the bottom of this tunnel, Rory, you with a good idea of what it's shaped like, can see that there appears to be glowing rock in the bottom of it.
Useful. If I haven't already, then I will go ahead and start swimming down.
Yeah, this time, now that you can see, much easier. You find the right handholds, get all the way down, and when you're at the bottom, you're like, oh, interesting. And you're able to get through that U and in a much quicker time than Jove did, are able to pop your head up from the water, and you can see Jove and Aquila, and I assume, Freddy, that you are already back to looking at the walls and reading the different inscriptions on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Zanzan are right next to each other. You're pointing out different places. He's removing some of the ooze from it. As you continue to study, and more of the same of, definitely all the Hydra part, it's painfully similar to a lot of kind of the Imix writings that you have seen, although the language structure of it is definitely different. And then more of that same kind of Bwim graffiti everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving just you, Jasper, on the other side of this. About a minute and a half passes.
Yeah, she kind of closes her eyes for a second, replays that moment of her grabbing the book and him grabbing her wrist, and then her mind kind of wanders to her dreams of kind of thievery and roguery, um, and looks up to the ceiling and says, "Still only in my dreams, huh?" And goes ahead and dives in.
Are you wearing your armor still?
Yeah.
And you feel with a speed you're not able to grab and climb down like your less armored companions. With that kind of the heaviness of yours, you sink 25 feet immediately, and so it's easy for you to keep going down and get to the bottom of this. However, I do need you to make some athletic checks as you are swimming upwards. You're having to grab onto there. There's just more weight between your
Right.
weapons and your armors, and you still have got the mask on, which is not doing you any favors. Give
Yeah.
me athletics as you're climbing up.
Sure. First athletics is only a 9.
Yeah, getting to the bottom is fine. It's as you're going up, you're finding it hard to make any handholds, and you fall back down to the bottom of it. You still, what's your Constitution score?
+2.
+2. You still have breath, but the whole falling in the armor keeping you lower than you anticipated. Luckily, there's light in here, but it is still the kind of claustrophobic. So go ahead and give it another try.
Okie dokie. That's better. That's an 18.
An 18, yeah, you hold your breath, take a minute to focus.
Yeah, she almost like wavers after almost being crushed to death underwater.
But this time you put a hand out, and another, and you really dig your feet in, move your body so that you can get more of the light to some of the upward parts, and probably closer to 2 minutes after everybody. So there's been, probably the better part of a minute or two with Rory and Jove and the rest of the group up above here. Jasper, finally, you hear a heavy as she gets her elbows up on the lip of this, and immediately, like, the stickiness holds you onto there to where you almost don't even have to use your body weight. You are kind of to the lip of this, but air.
Huge, slightly panicked gasp.
And then you try to really quick,
but
like,
yeah.
tone it down real fast, so it's like
Right.
And Job is right there at the lip, waiting for her, and we'll offer a hand.
Yeah, she takes it.
Yanks her on up.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Now that is, you've got the light, it's reaching out. Everybody go ahead and make me a perception check.
Now that everyone's here, I'll move light back to my staff.
Yeah, from where Zanzan and Freddy are, it's incredibly bright. It's like daytime in here in parts.
Ooh, that's a crit fail for Rory.
Crit fail.
I got 12.
16.
12, 16.
13.
13. Yeah, well, most of you are more preoccupied with just like the stickiness, the ooziness of this place. How large it is that you've swum into. I believe, Jove, you rolled the 16?
Yes.
Looking across, you see a small set of stones. They almost look a bit like they're bobbing against one another. But you see, it looks like a pathway leading out to a small island in kind of the middle of this waterway. And especially with your experience, this water is definitely moving, but not due to waves. You can see there seems to be a strong current spinning around this island. The water here, though, is not beautiful and clear and with that light blue glow from the chamber before. This water is almost gray. Even with the light shedding across it, it doesn't seem to reflect back at you the way you would expect water to. It's definitely moving, but it's like almost the entirety of the body of water moves together instead of just like the top part with the waves. It's more held together, it feels like, but you can see all the way on that island definitely the outline of what looks to be a sarcophagus. Supine on kind of this small island out there, as everyone else is just taking it in, seeing these strange, sticky-covered Kuatoa skeletons with these strange pincer spears. Zan and Freddy just completely focused on looking at the inscriptions and this, that, and the other.
Well, folks, I think we're in the right place. I don't know if you can spot that over there, but that looks mighty like a what are they called? Sarcophagus, sarcophagi. I think it's only just one, so sarcophagus across this causeway. But I don't know. Maybe we're low enough now that we've hit a water table or something because this water ain't still. There's a current moving through. So unless there's a real big fish down there or something. Looks like we might have an underground river situation or something pooling up here. So if you fall into the water, it's going to be moving you.
It could also be magic. You can never count that out, especially when we're in a place that we've already experienced some stuff with Alahydra, and also the writing on these walls. A lot of it says Alahydra, and there's another name here. I don't know if any of you know a Bwim.
Anyone who would like may roll religion.
Zoom Titan.
Bwim.
William. I'll go ahead and roll religion. You said.
Oh, I'm a
Bwim.
Bwim.
I rolled a 12.
A 12,
I rolled an 18.
an 18,
Whoa. I rolled an 11.
an 11. The 12 and 11, no, it does not ring in any bells. However, Jove, Bwim, you're not sure what exactly Bwim is. However, you do know a story. One of the scary, darker stories that your gaffer had picked up on his travels. One of when the entity known as Tenebris, or more commonly known as Orcus, one of the undead demon prince, slew Bwim in a time long past.
Well, we're certainly in an old place. I'm not. I remember an old story from Gaffer saying that something about Orcus slaying Bwim, but that was a long time ago. Surprising nobody here, but
I don't know much about Orcus. Does that make Bwim a good guy or a bad guy?
well, from my recollection, Orcus ain't necessarily the type of fella you invite over for dinner. So doesn't necessarily mean Bwim's a good guy either. Bad people kill bad people all the time.
Good people kill good people.
Yeah.
Well, we know he's dead. But when it comes to gods and primordials, that doesn't always mean too much.
Hell, this could be Bwim's tomb. I don't know about you, but if I were in the spot where I could, make myself my own tomb, I'd make sure to rat Jove all over it.
That sounds... Yeah.
So, this is the tomb we've been looking for then, right?
I mean, there's a sarcophagus, and I feel like that's all you really need to be considered a tomb, and I feel like there's not too many tombs in the sewers down here.
What about you, Zan? Have you found or do you see what you're looking for?
Yeah, this definitely looks like the place, man. It's not exactly what I thought it was gonna be. But I don't want to make any moves until the rest of you all got here, man, so... I think what I'm looking for, if it's gonna be anywhere, is on that little island right there, man.
Well, yeah, I guess we got to go get it. It looks like there's a little causeway, little stepping stone action. Sure, those are a bitch to get over, but
Yeah, looking at it, Jove, they're about 3 feet in diameter and about 8 feet apart.
shit, yeah. Well, you seem to got long legs. There, Zan Zan. If what you're looking for is over there, maybe you should get stepping.
He looks back at you.
Maybe.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you first.
I don't know. I'm a pretty good jumper.
That is true. I have seen you jump, so.
No offense, Zanzan, but I don't know how fit you are reading your books all the time.
Now, something that I can possibly do with my disc is, now this only works if I'm the one jumping, which I don't know how much we trust my jumping, but I can carry someone on the disc with me.
Well, that's mighty useful because there ain't no way that I'm making an 8-foot jump.
Because I can't move it on my own, and it likes to stay within 20 feet. So as I jump across, I can carry Jove across on it, I guess. And maybe one other person. It can hold a lot of weight, but it's pretty tiny.
No way I'm fitting on that, man. It's a little small for me.
I mean, it might be okay if you feel comfortable going across. Otherwise, I think Jasper or I are probably the quickest on our feet.
Yep, just an option. I just don't know how else I'm gonna get over there if I don't go myself. So, might as well take someone with me.
That seems sensible. Why don't you take me with you? Or Jove, since Jove's gonna struggle with that.
Yeah, so I'll summon the disc, and it's a 3-foot diameter, I believe.
Yeah,
It's
so about
pretty decent diameter.
the same size as these stepping stones.
Yeah, 3-foot diameter. So very tiny. Can pretty much just hold Jove. It would be a very tight squeeze to get anybody else on, but just Jove.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's gonna look at Aquila and say, well, you want to come with Aquila? I could, hold you. But believe me, I know what it's like. It's tough to be small and get held. So I totally get if you don't want to come.
I'd rather swim.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what this water's like there, Aquila. I hope. How about this? How about what do you feel about just staying over here, and then if things get dicey, go ahead and get in that water and paddling all over. But if you want to swim, you got 4 legs.
I will wait. See if you have the strength to make it. I will save you if you need saving.
Well, thank you, Aquila. I hope to do the same for you one day. Hey everybody, Akila's gonna stay here on land, and then if things get dicey and we really need it, she'll paddle over to us.
So, if I'm reading this correctly, Freddy, you're going to be the first one to make the leaps to these stones to head towards the island of the sarcophagus, with Jove floating on your tensor's disc to carry him along with you.
Question I did have about that, it can't cross a change in elevation of 10 feet or more, and I wasn't sure how that worked on water.
I'm going to say, because you've never used this spell before as Freddy, you're not sure.
Yeah.
Might work, might not work.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Not
Water's
gonna tell Jove that.
water's a flat surface. Like, you've read about it. Like, you can't put it over, like holes or anything without it falling down. But like water, like, what is water but a hole filler anyways?
Right. It's not changing elevation. The water's at that. There's the level. It's still there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, for a fact that, it's the surface, like the top of it. Yeah, of course. Makes sense. So yeah, you feel real confident about it. You're like, I got this. Then afterwards, Jasper and Rory. Are you guys gonna wait on the sides with Tequila, or follow in after them?
He's gonna wait.
I will
And
also
actually,
wait.
she's gonna doff her armor for this.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple minutes for you to, but you begin doffing your armor after that swim.
Yeah, she can
Right.
do that when I'm summoning my disc, because that's 10 minutes. So.
Yeah, you doff the armor, everything. Well, man, I didn't come all this way, man, not to go to the island with the sarcophagus, so I'll follow behind you guys. I don't know if I could even fit on that little disc thing, man, but what about you, Rory? What are you gonna do? Ryan, if you're saying anything, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Rory will take a look and say, I'll give it another moment. I think I'll follow after them in a bit, but I'm just keeping an eye right now. Making sure there isn't anything or any sort of trap that's going off. Nothing about this sits right with me. Everything up to this point wasn't convenient, so I don't see why this would be either.
So, 10 minutes pass. You summon your floating disc. Jasper doffs her armor. Jove, you climb up onto the disc. What does the disc kind of look like? Does it have an appearance? Give me some flavor, Freddy.
I mean, since he learned it all from a book, it's a pretty bog standard, just like a green just circle, like as if you just like took a picture of a disc and just copied and pasted into the real world. He's not he's not familiar enough with it yet to add flavor to it, because this is his first expedition using it, since he literally just learned it from a scroll studying at the school. So he'll figure it out as he goes, but for right now he's only able to really just get the form down and is just happy with getting it into existence at this point.
Yeah, it's strange as the rest of you watch this because there's no sort of music to this casting. Most of the time, Freddy incorporates some sort of almost like a small performance every time he casts magic. But this one is like book open, like
He's
following
doing
it
like the
step by step.
squinting, holding the book up right next to his face, just like what? Just like reading the words really carefully.
Kind of like magician style with the hand movements, like all just very rigid and not Freddy at all. And it's just like it almost just looks like he's having like his own little one man conversation with himself and says a couple different words that sound vaguely arcane before almost like pulling out like the portable hole from an Acme cartoon made out of green, like pulls it from the book, flicks it out, and it straightens out in this kind of lightly green, solid floating disc. Jove,
Well, there's your ride, bud.
Well, better than nothing.
You want to hop on? We'll take it for a little ride. Make sure it holds you.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't been indulging too bad, and he'll slap his barrel belly a little bit and hike himself up onto the disc.
Yeah, and I'll just like run back and forth on the ground that we've been standing on, because it just has to. It moves so it stays within 20 feet of me, so I can go back and forth on this shoreline, get enough distance to make it move, and make sure it's working all right.
yeah, you see Freddy run full speed back and forth a couple of times, and Jove on the disc following behind at an even speed. Um, it Jove, it's strange because this disc doesn't have really like any buoyancy to it. It's just like a piece of like almost floor tile holding you up. You were expecting it to kind of go down a little bit with your weight or anything, but it is just boom. Your
It's
halfling
like being on a ship, but there's no waves. It's kind of weird.
exactly like that. But
Well,
the
I
disc
think,
seems to be working.
Yeah, I think we're ready to try out our portion. Is everybody else ready to get moving?
Yeah, man.
I assume I'm still doffing my armor.
Now at this point, you've got it doffed
Okay.
off.
No, it takes me 10 minutes to summon the disc. I think that you got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Yeah, then she's done.
One
Great.
last look over to you, Rory. I'll assume
Sorry, I
you're.
was punching that time.
Ah,
Well, and he'll look over at Jasper. I guess I'm heading in behind him then, right?
Yeah, I'll follow you up after that.
You all lead the way. I'll make sure nothing goes too out of hand.
and as
Hey, here we
Freddy,
go.
as you head towards the first step, that's where we're gonna end it for tonight.
Yay.
Dang.
Yes. All right. Part 3 in the books. Let's say goodnight to chat.
Good
Night,
night,
Good night, chat.
Good night, chat.
Good night, chat. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next Sunday with part 4 of Foulness beneath Mulmmaster. Thank you so very much. Peace in the Middle East. Much love, and good night.